Yeah.
So like Billy Corgan, that's what it seemed like, because I went back and looked, and he's done a bunch of other interviews before he ever did this podcast. So I think he's one of those people who did kind of pop up and like share his opinion a lot, which I didn't even know. All of this was on the back end of me seeing that he had a podcast. And that's why they're all doing it. Because then it's like, oh, who's this? And they just pop back up into the... Like, dude, everybody. I just found out Josh Peck has a podcast. I just found this one out. I didn't know before. Now I know. So
Josh Peck from...
Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because the thing was, there was an episode where it was like Drake on Josh's podcast.
Oh.
And so that was the thing. It's like, oh, well, I have to watch this.
Yeah.
Because there's like a whole drama following that. If you keep up with the times like me, you would already know that Drake and Josh had a falling out, and Josh kind of pretended he wasn't friends with Drake, but there was evidence that he was friends with Drake. It's a whole thing.
Wow.
So the fact that he's on... And then there's the Drake allegations that came out, and that was why Josh distanced himself from Drake. But I guess now the whole thing is those allegations were completely founded on nothing, is what people are saying, and there's actually nothing to them. And like the thing is, most of the people who even heard about those allegations only know the word allegations. They didn't even know what happened.
Yeah. That's a strong word.
I had to watch like a whole 10-minute video when that happened. I remember. And I thought it was like he texted a girl. I thought that was the story. It was that he texted a girl, and it was what he texted her that was inappropriate. And I don't think I think he was like saying they could meet. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. That's my hazy memory.
We're talking about this like outside Gauntlet last night. It's like so many of those Nickelodeon kids so many of them come out unscathed.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about like the ones that did, like Lori Beth Dunberg. She seems like she's doing okay.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen her in the news.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Everyone like burns out.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? There's I would argue that JoJo Siwa is having that happen without Nickelodeon. Have you seen any of like the
latest? I don't even know who that is. Dude, I'm so out
She's
of the
from
loop
Dance
on
Moms.
Everything. See, that means nothing to
You
me.
shouldn't know who this is. For the record, the fact that I know is bad. It's not good that I know. When I start telling you about Drake and Josh drama and like JoJo Siwa, that's all bad.
Yeah, I mean,
my life is not better.
I'm so out of it with everything. I feel like I know nothing of like modern culture or like what's
now like
in right now.
Not like, because I feel like a lot
It's
of it I just
not like
absorb
a
through social
conscious-
media is what I'm saying. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like
and
I just scroll and that's how I see this. Like, do you just not do that? Like, how do you stay away? What is your algorithm? Your algorithm must be so different than mine, is what it is. Like, it's just showing you different stuff.
I don't look at reels. Like, I don't
That's probably
actively
key.
search. Like, if I'm bored, I don't go on social media. Like, I'll write or I'll go do something. I have a cat, so.
Wow, you're like from 20 years ago.
Yeah, man. I'm 37, so I lived most of my life without social media, and it was just fine.
Yeah. No, but like...
Which doesn't make for a compelling podcast, though.
It's interesting because most people naturally just don't do that. That's what's crazy, because that is the normal thing.
Yeah.
That would be the normal thing. Like, I always say, I only use social media because I make art and I do music, and
if I didn't do comedy, I would not be on it.
Me neither. I would just get people's phone numbers. Honestly, I wouldn't even try to use social, because I would see it as like the gateway drug. So I would probably just get people's phone numbers.
I wouldn't
and
even
then
do
I would
that. I'd just be like, well, if I see you out, I see you out. If not...
Nah, that's like a 90s mentality for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
if I see you, I see you.
Yeah, we'll leave it up to fate if we're in the same place again. If not, it was nice knowing you.
Yeah, see, but like that's beautiful that it used to be that. It used to be there's the whole like meet me at the train tracks.
Yeah, you had to make an effort.
Yeah, and then if you're not there at noon, I'm gonna stand there for 2 hours. Like, where the fuck is he?
I mean, 2 hours.
You're not gonna call him. There's no calling him. There's no texting
but after
him.
15 minutes, I'm out.
Okay,
you had your chance.
I would have. See, I was exaggerating, but I would probably go an hour. I'd probably actually wait like about an hour. That's what I think.
I still wouldn't.
15 minutes, 20 minutes. See, like people run late, so like at that point, I'd be like, well, there might.
But if there's no way to get a hold of them,
yeah,
I don't know. I like being on time.
But yeah, but like, okay, say you're 10. Okay, you're both 10 in this scenario because it's like the 90s and you're both 10. In that case, who else? Do you just meet your adult friends at the train tracks? Like, probably not. It's probably little kids in this scenario.
Unless you're like a greaser and about to get in a rumble. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is that?
Meeting at the tracks for a brawl.
It's John Travolta in this scenario.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're meeting them at the train tracks. You're both 10. At that point, maybe your parents like held you behind. Like, you know, we're kids, so I don't know. It's pretty bold to leave after 15 minutes because it's like, what if I get there 20 minutes late and you're gone? Now I'm waiting and I feel like you never showed up. And then I say to you, hey, where were you? And you're like, hey,
you know how
where
many
were
movies
you?
have been based on pretty much this exact scenario?
Yeah. Well, now it can't happen because now we would have just texted each other. That's the point. We
now
would
there's
have
no
just
leaving
called
anything
each other.
to chance, I guess.
Which, like, I have to imagine for, like, kids, that's what's so weird. Because I think right around my age is where I get to still have had at least a childhood without that form of connectivity.
How old are you again?
27.
27. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm 10 years older than you. Okay.
But, so that's a big contrast. So so that means, like, because I was going to say, when I was about 12 to 13 is when like phones became a thing, like a big thing. Like everybody has a smartphone. It was right before that. It was iPods. Like you had an iPod made by Apple, and that was a smart device. There wasn't a phone that was like that until they made the iPhone.
Yeah,
and then boom, that's when it all flips.
Yeah, that's weird because I was in college.
Exactly. I was gonna say if I'm 12, you're 22.
Yeah. So I was in college like right when that came out, and I didn't see the big deal about it. It's like big deal. I have a phone and an MP3 player. Why do I need this? And now that's what I have. And I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, it's the singularity device, dude.
It really,
that's what it is. But and I think that was always the plan. It was always like, we're going to put everything on this one little square.
Yeah, because why carry around 4 different things when you can just have one?
R.I.P. calculators.
Yeah, right.
Dude, those things are relics of the past.
Yeah, right.
Like if you're still making a calculator, like what?
Yeah, those, was it TI-89 people?
Yeah.
I'm sure they're all doing something substantially different now.
It's tragic. That was once a
Playing
device.
like Metroid on your calculator.
I mean, I don't even know how it works with kids now. With like if you're at school, like how does it work if everybody's calculator's on their phone? And like the rules were even weird when I was a kid because again, it was like just becoming a thing. And when I was in high school, so the way that rules would be enforced, it was kind of like you didn't really know what you're supposed to do. I don't think you should be able to take a kid's phone away. I think that's crazy.
No,
you
especially if there's an emergency or something. Yeah. They shouldn't.
But the school would do that. The school would like determine that they could take the phone away until you'd have your teacher take the phone. She'd say, "Come back to me at the end of the day."
It's a drawer full of iPhones.
Which is some bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea what I need my phone for right now at this given moment. That's what always was crazy to me. And they even could do that. Yeah. Like what? And I don't know if they do it anymore.
It seems like it would be illegal. Yeah, I don't know. I
remember
much time
I saw in Flint they were doing it in 2022 because I'm from Flint, Michigan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
King 810. Do you know those guys?
Yeah, actually, I've met. I think when I worked at G Card, I think I met one of their grandmas. I swear to God, she was like, my grandson is in this band, King 810. Da 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 da. And then I'm like, what?
Yeah, they're a big deal in Flint. Right?
They're not bad. I think their biggest thing was when they toured with Slipknot, if I remember.
Yeah,
that was when I remembered like the notoriety around like 2018, I think.
Yeah, that was a band. I don't know how I stumbled across them. I think they're a very unique band.
Exactly.
They're not my favorite band, but like their story is, and I read David's book too, which is really, really good.
Oh, really?
It's just about him growing up in Flint.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy book. But yeah, that's one of those bands. It's where there's such a unique sound. But, like, they're not my favorite band, but, like, it's cool to see that they're doing well.
Right.
Like, knowing the shit they went through.
And, like, Flint's not a place where you get a lot of big artists.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here and not there. Truly.
It's like Michael Moore, and wasn't he from there?
Michael Moore,
and
Terry
King
Crews.
810. Oh, and Terry Crews. Okay.
Those 3. That's the trifecta.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a whole lot of others. There might be that aren't coming to mind right now. I mean, there was a recent...
Like on paper, they all have one thing in common, and that's just where they're from.
Yeah.
Those are very different paths they took.
Well, I was about to say, there was also a rapper that got really popular over the last year. What was his name? Not the last year, over the last couple years. It was like in the COVID era. I want to say like 2021. Right around there, I feel like. But it was Coochie Man was his most popular song. I wish
that's not his name?
No, he identified as the Coochie Man in the song, but that's not his artist name. People might know him as Coochie Man. They might be like, "Oh, him." That's what that guy. It was a pretty popular song on TikTok. So.
See, I have a TikTok.
I'm happy for you,
but not using it. Yeah, I've posted a few things, and I just
TikTok is like it burns me out because I don't know. I feel like Instagram. What I've learned is Instagram is kind of who you know. Like once you know people, Instagram works better because it's been working better for me ever since I've been getting to know more people. TikTok just kind of shares your shit with everybody, but I feel like there's just a lot of, it's just like the lottery. You're just posting to the ether, and then once every now and then you pull that slot and you get all 3 matches, and boom, all of a sudden you hit the jackpot.
Yeah,
you know?
like
the number goes up. This is why I realized a long time ago there is no use in focusing on these numbers on social media. There's no use in focusing on chasing some type of invisible goal that will never, ever, 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 ever be satisfied, because you're constantly getting that goalpost moved on you by the overlords of whoever is running these social medias. Maybe it's just that algorithm turning us all into addicts. But hey, you want to stay away from that? You want to figure out something that'll give you something to focus on that's so beyond that even kind of doesn't matter, that just lays to the wayside? Well, that's what I wanted to do, and I became a professional mind blower. I focused on harnessing my own abilities and trying to blow the people's minds here, right now, in person, because no matter what, that will translate into success. And I know that. It doesn't matter how many times somebody likes my post. I know for a fact if I have you right here in front of me, I can pull something off. I can make something happen. And I think we all have that capability to blow people's minds in whatever way that we do it. We're all so different. We all have different abilities. We all have different superpowers. And whatever it is for you is different than what it is for me. That's why I love bringing people in, talking to people, because there's always so much method behind the madness that you see if you dig a little deeper. And I think we should all dig deeper and become mind blowers. And not only that, but professional ones. And maybe if you want to get yourself in the mindset, you get yourself a professional mind blower t-shirt. That's right. We're selling them $25 for a shirt, shipping included. We got smalls, we got mediums, we got larges. We can make more sizes if you please. And it's a great way for you to support this show. If you like what we're doing here, please consider it, okay? Because you can help make this happen. Say you want to help make this happen, but you don't want to get a t-shirt. Well, don't you worry. We got you covered. There's this little thing called Patreon. That's right. $5 a month, the price of a coffee, the price of a beer at the bar, and you let us know that you like this show and you want this show to grow. Whoa, 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 what? Yes, all facts. If you like what we're doing here, you want to give it some support, the Patreon is probably the best way to do it. It's pretty cost efficient. It's not too expensive. And if enough of you guys do it, I can take this show and elevate it to new heights. For real. You might think I'm asking for thousands and thousands and thousands of people to do this. No, it's a way lower number than that. That's all it takes for this thing to really become a well-oiled machine ready to serve you podcasts. That's right. And I want to do that. I want to bring you guys even more than I'm already bringing you now. And the only way we can make that happen is to get a little bit more lubricant on these gears. Okay? So please help me to do that. We are doing an episode every single 3 days, which is crazy talk. That is crazy efficiency, and I love doing it, but please let me know that you love me doing it. I want to keep bringing people in here, blowing the people's minds, because I really do believe in the superpowers of people. I love talking to people, and I want to share people with you. There's so much talent surrounding you at all times, and all it takes is an open mind to see it. Also on the Patreon, we've got exclusive podcast content. We've got music that's not going to come out anywhere else, only on the Patreon. And also, third, you get to hear my songs early before they come out anywhere else. They come out there. Crazy. All these perks just to beef up the offer that is truly about making this thing happen. I need you guys. I need you more than you know. It takes a village. This show is not me. It is so much bigger than me. So become a part of it, please. I'd love to have you join the Coop Troop with all my chickens and my roosters. Last but not least, we've got shows coming up. This is exciting for me. I can tell you multiple times that you can see me live. This is the first time we've done this on Ruse Radio, and I suspect there's a whole lot more of this coming. If you want to see me live, May 8th, I will be at Surge Billiards for Sharp Tongue Comedy. Going to be a bunch of comedians telling their jokes, and then I'm going to come up there and spaz on them at the end. Yes, you don't want to miss it. Ruse has got some tricks up his sleeve. Speaking of Ruse spazzing on the people with some tricks up his sleeve, Roast Battle Chicago. I just did it, and I'm doing it again. If you come out on May 15th, you will see me at Roast Battle Chicago. I will be roasting the comics. I will be spicing up the show. It went awesome the first time. It's going to go even better the second time. I'm super excited to be teaming up with Roast Battle. I love what they're doing. They're putting comics on. They're giving them a spot to shine. And they're creating a moment that lives in time only right there. They're doing something that I think is really special, and you need more of that in entertainment, where it feels like this could only happen here. And that's why I'm so glad to be a part of it, because I think I only add to that equation. So come out on May 15th. You can't get it anywhere else. Ruse X Roast Battle. Let's go. Zanies at Zanies, the legendary Zanies. Another super exciting part of that story. I'm super happy I can tell you guys I am going to be bothering you at Zanies. Also, June 7th, you can catch me at Wow, You're Actually Funny, put together by Marco Serino, friend of the show. Love that guy. A bunch of comics that are super funny. Wow, they're actually funny. It's crazy, and they're going to be telling some jokes. And again, I'm coming out there and I'm spazzing on them. You come out to these shows, you see comedy, you have yourself a time, and then you get to see my idiotic face ruining everything. Don't you want that? Doesn't that sound good? Because that's what you're signing up for. That's what you're getting. If you like how I ruin everything on this podcast, you're going to love how I ruin everything on these shows. Last but not least, we're back at Zanies on June 19th for Roast Battle again. So all those dates you can see me live. They'll probably be popped up on the screen here. Come on out. Have yourself a time. I love you guys. Let's get back to the show. Let's talk a little bit more about social media. And that's
algorithms mean nothing to me.
Like, they don't. Well, they're so inhuman. Like, they're inhumane. They're not actually how people work. If you don't fuck with social media all the time, like, Twitter to me is the weirdest one. I never really liked it, because I feel like Twitter is like an outrage machine almost. Like, the only one that's more like that is Reddit. The only thing that's more about complaining than Twitter is Reddit.
Yeah.
But they're both like so inherently like negative. It's
I'll
always
tell you
people
exactly
hating
when
on
I
shit.
got rid of Twitter.
Yeah.
It was the first time I saw somebody had a post and then it said 1 of 3. I'm just like, I'm done.
Threads.
I'm like, no, you get your 150 characters and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're abusing that, I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
And I feel like they made a thing now where it's not even a thing anymore. Now it's like, if you pay, you can post as many characters as you want. So they just kind of got rid. But if you don't pay, then you can't.
That makes me sick that anybody would pay
but that's the
to
thing.
like have that.
So how about that verified thing? I mean, like, you know about that, where it's like you pay to have like the blue badge next to your, because before the blue badge was like they verify you. So the social media companies saw that you had influence and then they would verify you. And for some reason that gives you social currency in our monkey brains.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it means, oh, they're important. Like, that's what we think automatically. Well, now you just buy the important badge and it still has the same effect on people. So they still like, oh, you're an official account, like you're verified, but you're actually paying instant. I looked at the prices just the other day. It's like there's like 4 different packages, and of course they offer more and more exposure. The more and more you pay, like they're gonna share your post with more people, so it's pay to play is what they're telling you.
Yeah,
but it's 30, 50, 70, and 100, and these are all monthly. It might even be more. I might be getting the number too low. I think I'm actually going. I might be shooting too low, but what I remember is 30, 50, 70, and 100 a month.
100 per month?
Yeah, for Instagram.
That's sad.
For Instagram. And it's like another one of the things was you can put more than one link in your bio. That was one of the things you get to pay for. So I think that's like on the 31, you can put 2 links instead of 1 link. Like stuff they could just give you. They could just give this to you. They don't.
But why would they do that when they can make money off of it? And people are paying for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sad, but yeah, that's the world we live in.
I know. And what that drives all that, like even Spotify, like the way that they want to advertise, like I've noticed the way that they advertise, they'll just throw shit in your face. Like they don't even organically put it. Like one of the things you can pay for is just to have your song pop up as like a pop up on people's phone, which to me is like a weird. Like I'm never gonna click that song. I've
never done
that.
I'm
even
just
on the way annoyed,
here.
and I open Spotify to play a song.
Yeah,
like, I didn't open Spotify for this. Like Spotify is not Instagram.
Yeah,
like you can't turn it into Instagram.
Yeah, that's yeah. If I'm opening Spotify, like I have a playlist where if I like a song, I have this playlist that's like 4,000 songs.
Yeah,
because every time I like a song, I put it on there. And so I just shuffle that. Like I'm not actively looking to add. I'm 37. I don't have time for new music.
Really? See, like, don't you think though? There's probably so much stuff you still don't know.
Sure, but if it happens organically, great. But if I don't go out and be like, I want to listen to a new band today, like I'll look through. Like when I was a kid, like it was all about the liner notes, like who they thanked. So let's say I got like a Blink-182 CD, and then special thanks too, and they had a list of bands. So I found like the Get Up Kids that way, MXPX that way, like when these bands that were hugely influential on me when I was younger, just because I looked at who the band thanked. So, and then I'd get an MXPX CD. Who did they thank? And be like, okay, this band has a cool name. I'll check them out. Like, that's how I found music.
Huh.
So now that I'm older, and it's like, I go to a lot of concerts, so I'll check out the opening bands, and if I like them, I'll buy their record there or whatever. But yeah, I'm not actively like, I'm going to find new bands today. Like, it just has to happen.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it.
That may make me close-minded, but I don't give a shit.
Well, I think that's smart, though, because
just
it's
how
like,
I feel about
if
it.
I like this band,
Yeah.
and they're saying that they're kind of like co-signing the other band.
Exactly.
Then you automatically know, like, you, in your taste, this band you like is approving of this other thing.
Exactly.
That's
and especially
smart.
when you used to have to go out and buy albums.
Yeah.
I felt that was a good way to do it.
Right.
So it's like,
Because it's kind of a risk.
yeah.
Like,
I
you
mean,
just get
that's
a shitty
$15. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of times where it's like I've gotten, like when I was younger, I bought the CD and I was incredibly disappointed.
Like, what is this?
This way, at least there's a chance. I know that they've toured together with this band that I already like.
Huh. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's very smart. Again, like, very old school of you.
Yeah.
And you still do that in a way. See, I kind of do that, like, I don't know. Like, I don't like to watch movie trailers because I don't want to know what the movie is. I hate movie trailers because they reveal too much. So I try to, like, with movies, I try to just go in blind as I can. Like, if I
Really?
like this director, or if this director
Okay.
I've heard is good from people, like, I try to just go off of those signs and just... Because trailers, if you pay attention in a trailer...
You've seen the movie.
You've seen most of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost always 2/3 of the movie, and they show the climax to climax. Like, they want to make the trailer a mini movie, so they use the climax of the movie as the climax of the trailer. Like, they don't tell you what's gonna happen, but they'll show you things. And in my mind, it's like, okay, this is an action movie, and I just saw him like flying through the air on like a jet ski. And so now I know the whole time I'm watching the movie, well, he can't die. He
Yeah.
was flying through the air on a jet ski.
Exactly. Yeah.
I gotta wait for that moment, and then he can die.
After
shit
that, I
drives
don't
me-
know what's happening.
Yes, that drives me crazy.
But I haven't seen a jet ski yet, so we got at least another hour in the movie. Mm-hmm. Wow, I didn't
That's
think about
the
that.
terror of trailers to me. Is I know infinitely too much.
It
Just
just
tell me the
gives it
movie's
away.
good. Just
Yeah.
tell me it's good. I'll go watch it. Like, I don't need to know anything else. I want to
can't-
go in blind.
Yeah, with movies, what have I seen lately that I really liked?
I haven't seen a lot of recent movies. I haven't been going to the movies as much as I used to.
I mean, are you a horror movie fan at all?
Yeah,
Do you watch Terrifier?
I've heard a lot about it.
It's really good.
But it's a gore thing, right?
It is, but it's also, I think, the character, because we don't know a ton about like how this. I don't even know what I want to say person.
Just
it's
wait
more
till
of a
Terrifier
thing.
8 when they go deep into his
I think they're going to
lore.
do one more and that's it.
Hopefully,
Yeah, I think he doesn't want it to go on too long. So hopefully questions are going to be answered. But like that curiosity of what is this thing? Why is he dressed like a clown?
Yeah.
And what's his obsession with shit? There's a lot of shit in that.
I mean,
movie.
that's kind of like the classic horror thing, right? Like Freddy Krueger,
well, he had
Michael
a-
Myers. Like, you kind of get into their origin story, but not too much.
That's what always kind of bothered me with Michael Myers.
They gave away too much.
No, I don't think they gave away enough because like he was. I guess there's possession, and I think it's explained like in books and stuff what happened to him. But with Freddy, it's pretty much spelled out there for you.
Yeah.
It's like this guy was which is so weird that he was a fucking pedophile, and then you have kids dressing up as him for Halloween. Like that's fucking weird. They've kind of shied away from that, but that's his original story.
I forgot
Because
about
he was
that.
a pedophile and he would kill kids, and then would later haunt their dreams.
Well, what's the thing with like him and the kid in the lake? Like, he
Jason?
drowned a kid in the lake. Or no, I thought it was Freddy. Was it? Oh, it is Jason.
Yeah,
Jason
Jason drowned in the lake.
I'm thinking of the Freddy versus Krueger or Freddy versus Jason movie.
which was awesome.
Yeah,
love
that was
that.
my introduction to both of the characters. Was
Really?
that movie, which is
No
kind of like
shit.
weird.
Yeah,
I remember watching that movie when I was 9. Like, what is going on?
that's a very
here?
impressionable age to watch that movie.
And I mean, like, it's still. Those movies are all still good. Those movies like, they're cheesy in a good way.
Freddy's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like that's why I always liked him the best too, is because I mean when there's non-verbal villains,
Yeah.
but he has some of the best jokes ever. Like he's hilarious.
What's the guy who plays him's name? I feel like
Robert Englund.
Robert Englund.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I met him. He's a good dude.
No shit.
Yeah, he was super cool.
How'd you meet
It was
him?
one of those horror conventions, but like he'll sit there and he will talk to you for a while. Like he's a really nice guy.
They have another one of those. I mean, no, they have a comic convention, I think. I don't know what it is, but I was thinking like that would be a smart way for me to. I just don't know what you say to people because like. With the podcast, I want to have everybody on here. Like, I want to do more than comedians. And that would be awesome to just get 1 or 2 people from one of those conventions. Because that kind of, it opens doors. Just any, dude, imagine Robert Englund just fucking having that guy on a podcast.
That'd be cool.
And you're telling me they'd just talk to you at these conventions. They probably would. Yeah. That's what it's making me think. Is like, they probably want someone to ask them. I just don't know what the sell is. I'm not good at like what do you email Robert Englund? What do you say?
Hi, Freddie.
Hi, Freddie. I have a podcast with comedians on. I want to have a serious conversation with you about Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. That'd be a hard one because it's like he's probably been asked every question too. Like he has a book out too, which is really good. And there's documentaries and stuff on him. But yeah, he was just really cool, very down to earth. It's almost like you forgot you're talking to the guy who played Freddy Krueger. Because he was just so down to earth.
Just the regular thing?
It started with, hey, big fan. But then got into like, oh, so what are you doing? Like, how do you like Chicago? Things like that. And yeah, it was just cool to, I've had good meet and greet situations like that. He was definitely one of them.
I probably would get nervous. I'd get nervous meeting people that I know are that cool.
Yeah. I mean, with him, I think he understands that.
Yeah.
So he kind of took the lead. He's like, oh, so yeah, what else have you done while you're at this convention? Things like that.
Oh, so he was asking you questions.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because it's kind of awkward for him, too. Like, if I don't say anything and he's just there, like, staring at me like, anything else?
Well, a lot of the time it's like probably people like fangirling over you. You know? Like, I've had tastes of that.
Yeah.
But if you're just like really famous, like well known for one particular thing, people probably come up to you and like salivate all the time, and you just learn to like deflect and ask about them because that's probably like they're like, oh, your work's so great. Like I thought this movie was so good when I was a kid, and oh my gosh, you remember that line you said, and that like you probably get that all the time. People are doing it on accident. They don't even know.
Just trying to have dinner with your family.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, do the line. It's like, all right.
Do the finger. Do the thing you did. And it's just, I imagine that would be exhausting. That's why, like, Eminem, what was that song? There was a that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I just remember there was one song where he's like talking shit about people coming up to him while he's out to eat with his family, like just saying. I mean, there's all kinds of like Slim Shady when he was doing that. He was saying more stuff like that, like fans like coming up to him, like someone like I think there was a line in one of those songs where someone throws him a note while he's trying to take a shit, like they're talking to him while he's taking a shit. But you get that, like you're literally taking a shit in a public restroom, and they're like, "Oh my god, are you Eminem?"
Yeah. That's funny once. But like if that's gonna happen every time you take a shit,
dude, it'd piss me off. I'd be so mad. That would let me shit in peace. And you don't want to do that because they're actually a fan of you.
Yeah,
they like you.
You have to keep cards with you that you can pass back that just say "Let me shit in peace." I think that's what Steve Martin used to do. Like he wouldn't sign autographs. He would just hand you a card that said, "I met Steve Martin." Which is hilarious, but also kind of a dick move.
Well, the autograph thing is confusing because, again, like if you're not of such a notoriety, it's probably hard to understand exactly what it's like. Because a lot of those people will follow you and like they'll be outside when you arrive on an airplane saying, "Oh my God, can I get an autograph?" They'll lie, they'll say it's for their children, and then what are they gonna do? They flip it and sell it online immediately.
Yeah, that's why I go to the conventions and stuff, because it's like they're supposed to be there. This is what they're being paid to do right now. I don't mind paying for that opportunity. I mean, sometimes it's fucking ridiculous how much you pay though.
How much? Like hundreds?
I think for Freddie, for Robert Englund, it was 100.
But it was a lot of people, though. It wasn't just him, right? Like
it was a whole convention. Yeah, but him in particular, like, no, it was $100 for an autograph from him.
Oh, so you pay for the ticket, but then when you're there, you can pay for autographs
exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought those were included in the
No,
package.
I wish. That would have saved me a lot of money.
I feel like that's like only right. Like think of like it's kind of like a trickle-down economics thing at that point. Everybody can sell their autographs.
Like
they make their money back.
Exactly. The people who put on those conventions have to get paid too, so I get it. Like some of them are a little outrageous. Like there's
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, they probably don't make much otherwise.
Yeah, but like The Breakfast Club is my favorite movie of all time. Mm-hmm. And they're doing it C2E2.
Okay.
There's going to be all of the people from The Breakfast Club there.
That's cool.
And
what year is that movie?
It's 87, I think. Wow. It was the year I was born, yeah.
So that's almost 30 years, a 27-year reunion. Kind of. That's cool.
30.
Well, if it was, you're saying it's happening this year, though.
Yeah.
It's 28, right? Because it's
30.
This is 97.
87.
87. But it's not 2027. That's why I said 28.
I suck at math.
I was proud of myself that I got the math right. So you were really making me question myself. I'm like, did I miscalculate?
87, because I was born in 87.
Yeah, but the year is 2025.
Yeah.
So 28. It's just you just do 30 and then take down 2 because it's not 2027, it's 2025. So you take off the 2, and then it goes from 30 to 28.
I'm just gonna take your word for it. This is where it's nice to have a calculator on your phone.
Bust out the, what is it, TI 802, whatever the fuck.
My TI 83. But the meet and greet for them, like to get a picture with all of them, is $500.
Okay.
And then it's like $100. Yeah.
God damn.
And that's not like where you get to like talk to them. Like that is literally, all right, stand there, bam, you're done. Okay. And then for each individual autograph, I believe it's 100 each, at least 100 each.
So you could easily drop 1K.
So if I wanted just a photo and then like my poster, my Breakfast Club poster autographed, that's $1,000, and that's not including the ticket to get in.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you know what the most fucked up part is? I'm kind of considering it.
I feel like at that point you're kind of like extorting your fans. Like there's no way it has to cost that much.
No, and it shouldn't. But
it's such an opportunity.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like I don't know when that opportunity is going to present itself again. So if you see on my Instagram a picture of me in the Breakfast Club, you know I am now missing $500.
Just no way he sacrificed
yes.
to get that photo.
And this is why I have Instagram.
Just for that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm putting that $500 to work. People are seeing it.
Oh, gosh, I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it. Like, it makes perfect sense to me that they would be able to charge that much. But I'm just wondering, like, if it was a fair price, what would that even be? Like, I would say probably
$100.
Like $100 for the photo.
Yep.
And then for each autograph, you could even keep it at 100. You could even, because they already do that at the conventions, you could probably get away with that. But if you want to make it what it's worth, 50. Drop it to 50 each.
Yeah.
So then it's like...
To sign their names?
Yeah.
Like
and
$50 is a lot of money to sign your name.
Especially if you get 100 people that show up. 100 times 50. Let's try our math again. 100 times 50.
I'm going to leave it to you. I don't got my TI 83 with me.
5,000.
Jeez.
Yeah. $5,000.
And it's probably going to be more than that. Like C2E2
it's not going to be 50 people that show up. Yeah. It'll be probably 1,000. Mm-hmm. So 1,000 times 1,000, that's 100,000. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So. But people will pay that.
And they will.
Yeah.
They will. Especially if you're in a nice area, like a nice populated area like Chicago. You come to a city like this, I feel like you're going to get tons of people. An artsy area like Chicago, people I feel like would be more into movies than maybe, well, I guess LA, but I don't think New York you would have the same. Maybe. Probably, yeah. You could might as well do a tour. Just go to each one and you'll make 4 times as much.
Exactly. And yeah, but it's just insane how much it costs. But like, I think it's even more insane that I'm like, I think I kind of want to do this. Like, I think I'm going to drop that $1,000.
I think they've just conditioned all the people in these conventions to these prices, like concert prices, you know?
Yeah.
Like we're so used to them. Like you're just, I guess the shirt's $100.
$40. Yeah. There was $40 for a shirt at the concert I went to last
And
week.
a water's like 10.
Yeah.
10 for a water, 40 for a shirt. You want to get like a poster.
And then you got to pay for parking. That's my biggest gripe is paying for parking.
Pay for everything.
I hate it, but I also want in on that business. Like how, not to shit on any parking attendants that might be watching, but how easy is that fucking job to own a parking lot and just say, hey, you have to give me $15 to park here?
I think the hardest part would probably be policing it. It'd probably be hiring
All you got to
security.
do is throw up a sign that says whatever happens to you while you're in this parking lot is not my fault.
I don't know. Would that deter people though, you think? Oh, you mean like you're not liable for the customers? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like...
There's an escaped convict in this parking lot. Whatever he does to you is not my fault.
I thought you meant the escaped convict walks up to the gate and he sees that sign. He's like, uh-oh, they're going to fuck me up in here. I better not go in there.
I'm going back to jail.
I'm going back to jail. But no, I see. That's okay. And I think they already do that. I think all the parking places do that, right?
Yeah, you
just
have
say
to.
whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, there'd be a million lawsuits. Like anything that gets stolen or anything like that, it's not on them.
When I was going to move here, I remember like I was reading like if you could just drive to the city and sleep in your car, if that's like a thing you could do. But it was saying that like advising against it because of the criminals that might be in the parking lots and where you're sleeping.
You don't want to see the wrong thing.
You don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's exactly where I would want to be if someone was breaking into my car.
In your car?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
You don't think that would scare them away?
Well, yeah, but I think it's like maybe this was advice for like everybody, and so that was kind of like saying, hey, women, you might get raped.
Oh, okay.
That might be more what it's like. I could get raped, but I think a woman's far more likely to get raped
Sure.
if she's sleeping in her car in a parking lot. I don't think there's not many like, I don't know, is there like...
I just think if someone's going to break into a car and then they see someone's in it, they will go to another car.
I
Because then you
wonder
can
what
identify them.
I wonder why they say that, because now I'm thinking about it. It made sense to me when I read it. I was reading it like, that makes sense.
I mean, if you have an option to not sleep in your car,
I think it was just
I
saying
would
like
take
there's no
that.
security. Like there's no security. So it's like if you go to a casino in a
Yeah.
casino parking lot, that was what they were telling you to do. Like if there's a casino nearby, just go to their parking lot because there's security in the parking lot. And like if you at least go in the casino and like maybe buy something or anything like that, if you just, I don't know, it was making it sound like you could just go to the casino and oh no, it's because they have 24-hour customers and all that. So it's normal.
I would think also hospitals.
Hospitals.
Yeah, that would be a safe place.
Probably. I mean, if anything happens, you don't have to go far.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That and who's going to a hospital to rob cars.
Yeah.
Watch, we're going to see a headline after this airs.
I don't know. That's the
robbings.
best spot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, it's a crackpot right there. No one else is there.
Yeah.
Wow. Where else? I don't know. I feel like, yeah, all the other good spots are probably, like, they've already figured it out. Hospitals probably are the one. There's probably some guy who already is, like, so depraved he does just go to the hospital parking lot.
Yeah, so people at the hospital aren't having a bad enough day.
Yeah.
And they have
Yeah.
a hospital thief.
The hospital thief. That's, yeah. Oh, but they have, I think they might, do they have security?
They have to, yeah. I'm sure they do.
have to, but I don't know if they do in the parking lot. I think they have it inside.
I'm sure they got a guy that fucking rides around.
I don't know, like a go-kart.
Yeah. Either way, if they don't, that's not a problem. I think they're safe.
Yeah, so a hospital or a casino. Cause
Like
yeah,
if I had to sleep in my car somewhere, I would probably look for a hospital.
yeah. Because I just remember that was what I was saying when I wanted to move here. It was like, where would I sleep? How could I possibly? And I got lucky. What it was I found somebody who was subleasing, and then I ended up in Rogers Park, actually. Like, have you always lived in the same area, or have you moved around the city a little bit?
I moved around a little bit. I first lived in Pilsen when I moved to the city.
Okay.
Then Old Irving Park, and now, yeah, Ravenswood.
And what's that? Like, how do those places contrast? Like, is it a big difference?
Not really. I mean, to me, it isn't.
Yeah. Because I just heard, like, people, they'll be in certain areas, and, like, I forget, somebody was telling me he thought he was going to like it there, and then he didn't. I think it was Logan Square. It was Ryan Raymond and Logan Square, I'm pretty sure. He was telling me, like, he thought he was going to like it, but it was not the energy he was seeing from the outside in. Yeah.
See, here's, I've lived in my place maybe, like, 4 years now. I don't think I've ever seen my neighbors.
Really?
Like, I know they exist because I hear them, like, walking and shit. Never seen them, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, the fact I have no reason to not like my neighborhood because I really don't see that many people.
I think he told me
And, like,
he
if
saw
I'm leaving
somebody
my
walking
apartment,
their
it's for a
cat,
reason.
and that was, like, the tipping point.
All right, that's a good reason. If I see someone doing it, and as a cat owner now, I would never do that. I wouldn't put my cat through it. I wouldn't put anybody else.
Let me show you. I'm gonna go grab it.
Oh, no, you have a cat leash?
No, even better. A cat backpack.
A cat pack?
A cat pack right here. So Margot loves this thing. What I do is I'll open up, like, what she doesn't really like being on my back so much, so I'll open this part up right here. As you can see, it's cushioned on the inside.
Yeah, that's how
for
my
the kitty. It was mainly for travel, but like what I'll do is, honestly, I could even do it with this weather because she's getting kind of excited.
Yeah,
seeing
she
this.
thinks you're going on a trip.
So she'll get in here, and then this part is nice. I have to be careful because she might try to like jump out, but I'll let her pop her little head out, and so I'll just be walking her.
Yeah,
I'll put
be
it on my
scary.
front, not my back, because she likes that better.
Yeah,
But I mean, like,
she feels like she's walking.
I feel like that's different than a cat leash, though.
Oh, you did it.
I got her going. She's like, "What are we doing here?" She wants me to shove her in the backpack. Like, that's what I have to do. I have to like stick her in there.
Really?
She likes it. She like kind of likes getting manhandled. She's I think it's because she grew up around dogs. Like, I really do.
Yeah,
You pick her
they
up and you
play
kind
it.
of like squeeze her. And that's the thing about cats, if you don't already know, is they like when you squeeze them. And they'll pretend kind of that they don't sometimes, but they do. They like the security of it. Like, if you hold them close and you kind of squish them a little bit, they're like, "Oh, yes, 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 I can't move."
If you just took the word cat out of what you just said, that would sound.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the fact
This
that
would
it's
sound
cat.
like you're in an interrogation.
But it's okay because it's little squishy little kitty cats, dude. They love it. I'm telling you. I learned that on a cat. Like, it was one of those videos where it was a cat handler and they were showing like how to properly pick. I can't remember what it was. How to properly do something with the cat.
Is it what's that guy's name? Hey, have you seen that show, My Cat from Hell?
No.
I watched a bunch of those
But
before
I know
I got
that-
mine.
I think I know who you're talking about. Like, he tames cats.
Yeah, he rules.
Yeah.
He's,
those guys all rule. The fucking, like, they're animal whisperers.
It's insane. Yeah.
Like, I think they're just so.
Uh-oh.
I think she's trying to get in the backpack over there. I think they're just so intuitive because I think that's the only way. Like, you'd have to be young and just be into animals.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be raised around them.
Yeah, it's because you have to pick up on their body language and stuff. Like, that's how they're so good at that. They study the actual behavior. Like, you might know a dog, but
Dude,
do
yeah,
you
like there's a million
know?
different ways that they can like move their tails that'll tell you like, hey, I'm in pain. Hey, I'm anxious right now. And like, so I watched a ton of those before I adopted mine.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Is
Yeah.
to learn from the greats, learn from the legends.
Well, because I knew bringing her home, like she'd been at the shelter like 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. So I know bringing her into her new environment, even as just like as welcoming as I tried to make it, like I had everything set up, like, you know, litter box, cat tree, toys, all that stuff. But I'm like, there's still going to be an adjustment period. So I wanted to know like what I could do to make it more comfortable and like ease that process of moving her in. So that's why I looked up like, okay, what is, you know, her sitting like this? That means she's content.
She's loafing.
Yes.
Yeah. She likes sitting by the light too. There's something about the light she likes.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the heat, but I think it's probably the heat, but I don't know. Maybe it just makes her feel cinematic and cool.
Or because their hearing is so good, she could probably hear the light and it's
The
like
little
relaxing. Yeah. Yeah. So she could probably hear that. But like looking into those things just to make sure like my cat was comfortable.
Yeah.
I brought her home.
Like, dogs will do things too. I mean, dogs for sure. Dogs
are so much more vocal. Because like cats, I feel like are more protective. Like they don't want you to know if they're hurting. Whereas a dog, like if it has something wrong, you're gonna fucking know. Your neighbors are gonna know.
I don't know, because, like, I think it depends on the dog even, because, like,
True.
My dog, he seems to care a lot about what I think, and, like, he cares about fucking up. Like, he doesn't want to make a mistake that makes me do something, like, makes me dislike him more.
Yeah.
So he's always trying to do what he thinks I want him to do. Like, I think that's how he considers everything.
Yeah.
Like every time we're doing the podcast, every time before we start, he's always like trying to show me he's cool. Like, please don't kick me out, Dad. I'm cool.
Now I feel bad that he's out of the room.
But the thing is, he always blows his opportunity. Like, just give him 40 minutes. He'll mess it up. And like, what I've learned is sometimes that's fine, but it's just like other times he'll like hop up on top of you and just try to lick your face. It depends on the person, you know. Some people want it. And I just let it happen to them. I'm like, you seem to be wanting this, so I'm going to let him do it to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine for a while, but after a while, it's like, I don't taste any different than I did 5 minutes ago.
I don't know how you could keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know? I don't understand. He could
Seems
lick
exhausting.
you forever.
That's insane to me.
He really could. He's like, I can't believe you're letting me do this. He's actually just so excited.
I'm just going to go until you tell me to stop.
Have you seen Ari Shaffir let dogs lick the inside of his mouth and things like this? He'll do it on podcasts a lot. He'll just open up his mouth and let the dog get in there.
This is why I stay away from social media.
When I was 8 or 10, I did that. I remember I had a dog that was like I have her leash over there. You can see it. It's Bailey. She was like my first dog.
Yeah.
And she was a pit bull. And I remember I would open my mouth and I would just let her lick the inside. And like I don't understand why no one around me like pulled me away from that dog and said, stop doing that.
Stop making out with your dog.
Like that's not. You think it's funny? It's not funny. That's what they had to say. Like, I'm telling you, this is not looking good for you.
Yeah.
Because no one said that. They would all just point at me and look at me and go like, he's so weird.
Can you imagine if people had camera phones? That would have ruined your life.
I kind of wish there was footage because it's such a ridiculous thing. I did that. Like, I can't believe I did that. Another thing I did when I was younger that I wish someone stopped me. In 7th grade, 8th grade, I carried a 2-liter of Mountain Dew to school every day. And
you were that kid.
Yeah.
All right.
And I would finish it. Like I would finish the 2-liter. Dude, like if I could go back, oh my God.
Like, would you start at like breakfast?
Yeah. I'd bring
and then
it.
you just drink it. You drink a 2-liter a day?
A day. And I brought it to school. And Mountain Dew. Often Mountain Dew. Almost always Mountain Dew.
Like, this is almost too much.
I know. I know. Now I don't even really like soda that much.
I wonder why.
It's crazy, dude. And again, no one like pulled me to the side and said,
listen, people are talking. You don't want to be Mountain Dew kid. We get it. You do the do.
In a way, I feel like it was like it's kind of funny and it's kind of like a cool like thing to say I did.
That
like,
you survived it? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Because most people don't.
I'm still moving. I haven't gained like 700 pounds since then. Like all of those things are wild.
It's kind of like an anomaly. Like you should be dead.
Yeah, I know. I was not. The thing is, too, I was younger. I feel like when you're younger, I feel like it's worse because your body's still developing.
Yeah.
So I probably like. To me, it's like the caffeine and sugar speedball that I was constantly doing is the wildest part. Like, just all day, I'm just basically snorting that shit.
Yeah, and your peers and teachers are letting it happen.
They're all like, oh, you're a Mountain Dew guy. That's literally all they do. No one... I feel like, and I don't know if this is just because I was that guy, but if I saw that, I would literally pull that person aside. I'd be like, I get it. I know what's going on here. But trust me, I'm telling you, you're going to regret this.
Yeah.
I know you will regret this.
It's one thing to enjoy Mountain Dew, but it seems like you love it. And this is a problem.
It's not normal.
It would be distracting to me. Like, I would fail any class I had with you.
Yeah.
Just keeping an eye on, like, how much is gone by the end of this class.
How is he not always pissing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's good though to at least like again,
to be able to admit it.
To be able to admit it, you know, to have these anomalous things about yourself, you know, to be able to admit that you were that guy. Like there's nothing weird you did growing up that you're like, I can't believe that I got away with that people let me do such a thing. Because I mean, like, I feel like I was a weird kid. I feel like I've always been weird, but like I was always destined.
Well, when
to
you're
do
hopped
this.
up on Mountain Dew,
before
like
that, though. It was
before the Dew. Oh, okay.
The Dew just was a part of the equation. It's just, it's like how people who end up doing crack, you could always see it coming.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Like, they
Usually
always had the signs.
nobody smokes crack once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's like, oh, John, yeah, okay, like I know John. Like sometimes I think like because of the opioid crisis, now you have like mothers doing heroin.
Yeah.
But before that, it was always like you knew who would do heroin. Like,
Yeah.
like it's always a certain class. It's a certain type of human that ends up there. You have like the outliers, but almost always. And so I felt like that was me with the Mountain Dew. Like I was always destined to get there.
You were destined for Dew.
Destined for Dew. Yeah. I mean, like, marijuana's like that for me now. I have an addictive personality. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
I'm always going to latch on to something. That's what's always going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was with drinking.
Yeah,
Like,
well, in the comedy world, that seems to be the big one.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, I think it's just because you're surrounded by it. I think that's my theory. It's just
I feel like I got into
comedy.
comedy as a way to drink.
Really?
Like, yeah, because I was just such a
This is a good time. I
nightmare.
can drink here.
yeah. Nobody judges me. I can say shit. People have to listen.
I'm drunk and they like me more for some reason.
I thought they liked me more.
Yeah, that's the classic drunk mentality.
Yeah.
They
Because
love me right now.
as someone told me, record all your sets.
Yeah.
So I would.
Yeah, when you're drunk, that's
And
dangerous.
think I was like, yeah, I was awesome. And then I'd listen to it the next day. I'm like, oh, they are laughing at me.
I've heard comedians tell me too, like because of the way open mics are, you go to 4 mics, 3 mics. By the third one, you're so much drunker than the first one. You're not even retaining anything anymore.
Yeah.
You've just become too drunk.
Yeah. I mean, luckily that I stopped that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see that and it's like, yeah, there's certain times I see people like that where it's like, oh no, I'm seeing a younger me. I see what this is going to turn into.
Right.
And it's none of my fucking business to tell anyone what to do.
Shit.
Well, you did shake it.
Yeah, but it said shake it. I didn't think that was
Did it
gonna
really?
happen. It says shake well on the side. So
And then what does it say next to it? Ha ha.
Right? Best served chiller over ice. This is unfair. There's no... You wouldn't... It's coffee. I didn't think that was going to happen. Let me
It's,
see if I can-
it's espresso. 200 milligrams of caffeine?
Hell yeah.
Damn.
I told you how much Mountain Dew. I
Yeah,
used to
you're
drink.
right. You got the Mountain Dew tolerance.
I'm built like this. When I don't drink caffeine, I feel dead. Like truly, it's not good. It's caffeine and sugar. It's just the socially acceptable thing to be completely addicted to.
100%. Yeah. It's something you can sneak into everything.
It pisses me off with sugar. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't even need sugar in this. It's orange juice.
It's filler, basically. Like all the shit you can get like at a Dollar Tree. Mm-hmm. Like the reason it's so cheap is because there's just so much sugar in it.
Yeah.
Because it's just a filler and
Yeah.
it's cheap.
Which is crazy. What were you saying right before I opened that, though?
What was I saying? Something about drinking.
Something about drinking. It really threw me off guard, that thing.
The 200 milligrams threw me off. Holy shit. Just like, yeah, going to open mics drunk.
Oh, right.
That's why, like, because I started comedy when I was drinking, but I don't really count it.
Yeah,
'Cause
because you were drinking.
It was more of an excuse for me to go out and get drunk.
Yeah.
Like, I had shows here and there, but I would say technically, yeah.
How
I
long ago was
started
that?
after. I got sober 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but you were doing comedy then? Like at that, or before then, is what I'm saying.
I was doing it before then, here and there.
So where did, like when you were doing it when you were drinking, when was that?
Probably 2014.
Oh, okay. So it was like
Maybe a little after.
couple years of that then.
Yeah. It was like right after college.
But it wasn't like full-time comedy, like going to open mics all the time even. It was just kind of like an occasional thing.
Yeah.
I see. And then you get sober and then you kind of take it serious.
Yeah, but there was also, after getting sober, I felt like I kind of had to take a break from it.
From comedy?
Yeah, just to figure out, it's like, do I actually want to do this, or did I like doing this so I can go out and get shit-faced?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's technically when I'd say I'd started, probably around 2016.
Okay. And so how long was that break then? If
Probably
you had a break.
6 to 8 months.
And then what? You go to an open mic and we're back in magical comedy world. That's how it happens. Just one open mic. How do you fall back into comedy after those?
It was
6 months?
honestly, it was like, because drinking was so dependent, like it's such a dependent part of my personality.
Yeah, as it tends to be.
Yeah, like I was the drunk guy.
Yeah.
Like that's how people knew me. And so going and getting up on stage, it was almost like I felt more comfortable doing that than having real conversations with people. Because, yeah, drinking dominated my personality. And when I didn't have that to lean on, I didn't really know. Like, it was a real learning process of how to talk to people again, how to be out in public and not feel, like, anxious all the time. So getting on stage, I would say helped me, probably more than anything, is getting on stage and, like, because I have what I'm going to say prepared. I'm in control of this conversation. I don't give a shit if anyone's judging me, where I would in like a normal, regular conversation. It was a weird dynamic that I felt more comfortable on stage.
Right. Huh. And that helped like re-socialize you.
Yeah, at least I'm out and like, before mics and shows, you talk to the other comics. So kind of got a little practice like that.
I mean, like, see, I've noticed...
It was seriously such a part of my personality that I had to relearn like social cues and...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I've noticed I'll naturally lock myself away, and then I'll forget how to socialize in this weird way. Like we all do. It's kind of like you need practice. If you don't socialize for a while, you need practice. Or if you always do it while drunk, you haven't done it sober.
Exactly.
You need practice doing it sober because it's all of a sudden you're in this whole different realm that you're not used to. For me, like the thing I've learned, like I have methods that have slipped me back into that. Like because when I moved here, it's about a year I just didn't socialize with like. Basically didn't go out to open mics. I didn't meet people. I didn't socialize really. So,
yeah.
And I just remember like, even when I go to an open mic, it's not like I'm a social butterfly, like I'm going around talking to everybody. But after I go on stage, that thing flips and now all of a sudden it's different.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't know what that is. I really don't know what it is. I feel like it's like I proved myself to this room in a way. Like now they know who I am. Now I can talk to them. Now I don't have
and it
to
might
just
be
randomly...
something you say on stage, like that's, oh, I'm into this too. You know what I mean? So you have a reason to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Like if you see their set and you like it, like there's a reason to say, hey, good set. Mm-hmm. You can't just go to, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I have a hard time like organically starting conversations if I have nothing to talk to you about.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say is what I've learned is I walk up with my business cards, got them here in my pocket. Walk up with my business cards. I say, hey, I got a podcast. I'm a musician. You scan this code. Everything pops up. Blah, 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 blah. And there you go. Now it's the beginning of a conversation. Like it's literally, that always leads to something. Just handing them the card and saying that leads to something.
Can I have this?
Oh, of course. You just got the introduction to the card. It literally, you scan the code, everything pops up. All my music's on there. My latest single should be right there.
Sick.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it on the way home.
Linktree, dude. It's actually... Any of those link websites where you can put it all in one place, you can make a QR code for free. And these cards themselves, I buy like 1,000 for $40. So it's like 4 cents each.
Yeah, I have some cards, but
they're nice.
Change mine.
They're nice.
Yeah,
it's just great. It's a nice little, like, you would think it's kind of cheesy because it kind of is, but at the same time, people do remember you through fucking cards.
Especially if you say you have a podcast and stuff, like people want to do that.
Yeah, well, especially comedians. Mm-hmm. Especially comedians. Like you go to open mics and like tell a comedian that, and to me, what I've learned is through doing it, because I've always listened to comedian podcasts. Like that's who does podcasts for the most part. Is comedians.
I listen to. Have you Come Town?
Yeah.
I fucking love Come Town.
I've never gotten too deep into Come Town, but that's a good one.
The best way I can describe it is like, when you used to have sleepovers with your friends?
Yeah.
And it's like that, you're all delirious at like 4 a.m., so just the dumbest stuff is funny.
Yeah.
That's Come Town. Every episode. It's just like stuff that if you try to explain it to other people and they don't hear it coming from those three guys... They're going to think you're a fucking idiot.
So I know it's Stavros, Nick Mullen. Who's the third one?
Adam Friedland.
Adam Friedland. Yeah. Okay. Right.
I opened for Nick Mullen. He was so cool.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of blowing up his spot, but he was so nice and like down to earth because he's kind of a dickhead on the show.
Yeah.
But he was the coolest person like outside of that. Like when I like hanging in the green room, he, hey, you having fun, man? Like it was really weird.
Just because
I'm so used to him on the show just shitting on everything. But he was so like just kind to me. Yeah, he was super cool.
You gotta imagine though, like they're playing into that on the show always, right?
Oh yeah,
they're just completely playing into that.
Yeah, but like when that's the only side of someone you see,
right?
And then you meet them and they're a completely different type of person. Like it was a nice surprise. Like because I'm a fan of his, so getting to open for him and having him be like so just generous with me was cool.
I feel like a lot of those like Tony Hinchcliffe's probably the same thing because he's always talking shit. But I bet if you met him, it's like you'd believe all the gay rumors immediately. Like he's so nice to me. I think he wants me.
Yeah. He was too nice to me.
He's too nice.
Yeah.
But there's probably a lot of that.
And now he won't stay out of my DMs.
In comedy, though, in general, like it's kind of a persona geared thing. So you get a lot more of that there than I think even rap. You know what? No, I think with rap, I see the same thing. Like, you'll see rappers who, like, they'll talk one way in their music, and then you hear them talk in real life. You're like, whoa, you're almost disoriented.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that about Tupac. Like, if you go back and watch Tupac interviews, he sounds so, like, flamboyant and, like, excitable, whereas in his music, he's a gangster.
It's you're afraid of him.
Yeah.
But now it's when you see an interview with Tupac and you're like, aw,
Yeah, he's
just
cute.
watching him have fun. Like,
So I feel like
when I'm listening to gangster rap, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear them have fun.
never,
You know?
never. I don't want to see that side of you.
Yeah, I want to be afraid of you.
Like all those Ice Cube movies when it was like,
Are we there yet? Yeah.
That kind of killed the whole past Ice Cube. Like it's like putting him in a grave.
Yeah,
In a way, because you can't go back and look at that.
No.
And then watch that movie and
then
feel...
have your album start with gunshots. Like, no, you were just in a Disney movie. It's over.
Yeah. So that's probably always weird meeting those people in real life, because they're, for the most part, they're probably never like that. Almost all of them are probably not like that. It's like, especially like gangsta rap, like especially like gimmicky types of comedy. There's all kinds of gimmicky comedy. Not even that that's bad, just that there's gimmicky comedy.
Yeah.
There's like, and that's what it exists for, is to be that thing. Like,
Yeah,
I'm the guy
like
who
when
does
you can
this.
tell someone's a character on stage. Like, I'm trying to think, like in Emo Phillips.
I'm not familiar, but is it like emo? Is that the thing?
No. That's just his name.
Okay.
He's really weird and
He comes out with black nails, got long hair.
He's just very weird guy. But it's like there's no way you're like that all the time. And like I don't know him, so maybe he is.
Well, that's the question with me with a lot of comedians, is like I can tell they're playing into who they are, but also like then it becomes like, is this who they've always been, or is it like they've learned that these aspects of who they are what make them funny, and they just play into that? Like Theo Von, I've always wondered how much of that is him playing into what people think he is, and how much of that is truly him being himself. Because I think it's like Norm Macdonald, where he's kind of playing the idiot all the time. He's kind of using that to his favor, which is like something, it's kind of the best place you can be in comedy, because then you can say anything. So I think that's really the magic of what's going on there. But it makes me wonder, because like later on in Norm's life, he gave serious interviews, but it was only like late in his life that you can hear Norm like seriously talking about anything.
Yeah.
It's just,
even like me and Cam were talking about his like Conan appearances, when he would try to go on for interviews and he would just tell like a really long street joke, and that was the interview.
Yeah.
Like you're not even sure what he was there promoting, because he would just tell like really long form like street jokes, and that was the interview. So you didn't see a serious side to him.
Him and Conan are my favorites, because I think Conan understood how to play into Norm's thing.
Yeah, he was the perfect like straight man for Norm.
Yeah, which is exactly what he needs. He needs like a straight man.
Yeah.
That's what on his podcast. That's what, or on his, I think it was podcast. It was Norm Macdonald Live. It was on YouTube. If you ever saw that. It's kind of hard to find a lot of the episodes now. I don't think there's like an actual archive, because it became a thing on Netflix where it was Norm Macdonald has a show, and that's a bunch of different episodes. But originally it was Norm Macdonald Live. Like the OG fans know about that Man Grate. Okay. It was like,
what?
His advertisements were so good, because he had this thing called Man Grate that was a grill. But he would it's Norm Macdonald advertising Man Grate. So you can just imagine.
Yeah.
But it was, who the fuck was his co-host? It was how I found out about him. I think he helps Joe Rogan run his comedy club now, but before that he helped run the Comedy Store in LA. I just can't remember his name. Oh, I can't remember it. It'd be like taking like 2 seconds to find it, though. I'll find it. But he used to be on there with him. And it was just Norm Macdonald, like, why'd I even bring it up? Something about Norm Macdonald. I guess just the whole thing.
Him being like a character.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there was something specific I was going to say, but that's kind of the whole thing, is he would play, he had Larry King on there, and he did this thing where he would have him and the guest read jokes that obviously he wrote, but he would say, like, I don't know who wrote these. And so he'd just get Larry King to say some foul shit. It's just Norm's ability to put people in situations, even. Like, he's the best.
That's got to be a weird dynamic, because Norm did impressions of him on SNL. Like, that's got to be a weird thing to meet the person you were making fun of on a national TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then become friends with that person.
Who was it?
Larry King.
Yeah,
because he would do
he
the
was
Larry.
making fun of Larry King.
He would do the Larry King character on SNL.
Yeah,
And
that
now
would
he's
be weird.
friends with him. Like, that's weird.
You ever see his impression of Quentin Tarantino too? He had like a spot on Quentin Tarantino. Norm Macdonald did.
Did he?
Yeah, I think it was for SNL. I think that's where it came from. Adam Egget was the name I was trying to remember.
Who?
Adam Egget. Oh, that's how I found out. But he does like both of those comedy clubs. He's been like a major part, I guess.
Oh, nice.
Like, yeah. But I don't think I don't know much about his comedy. And that's why I said it, because he played the straight man to Norm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that was the whole thing. Is like Norm Macdonald would make like a 9/11 joke, and Adam Egget would try like that. Part of what Norm would do is to shit like that, where it's like, I'm going to say something so inappropriate, and then I'll make you the joke because you laughed at what I said.
Yeah.
Like, how could you laugh at that? 9/11 was a national tragedy. And then you're laughing at him saying 9/11 was a national tragedy. Get the fact that he could even get you to laugh at that statement.
It's almost like Adam being the straight man there gives you an out for laughing at it.
Yeah.
Because it's like Adam's having the reaction you should have to what Norm just said.
Exactly.
But since he is appalled by it, it's like you're almost laughing at Adam's reaction.
That's the whole straight man thing.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole thing, is like you're seeing this person's reaction. It's like the Jim from The Office thing, where it's like,
where he looks at the camera.
Exactly. Or, oh, this is so ridiculous, but I identify with that character because he sees how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. It's crazy though how that happens. Oh, like that is the classic comedy duo, Drake and Josh. Yet again, that is actually
it all comes back to Drake and Josh. Although I did hear that they're not actually friends.
But I think they are now. I think it all came back around. Don't you worry. I've got the details.
I got a long afternoon of watching the Josh Peck podcast.
It's been around for years. Everybody has a podcast. Donnell Rawlings has a podcast now.
How long are those episodes?
Right? I think they're like I think someone is helping him because they're a good hour and a half. So I think somebody's
He's
like,
got a good editor.
Donnell, we could make 3 videos out of this one. Like, we'll just stop and restart. We can make a whole new episode.
Yeah. See, like that. I'm sure it's interesting. It's got an audience.
Of course. Well, I think like the thing about podcasts is, I thought they were over. I thought it was actually over. I thought there was like a big boom. I thought maybe the isolation aspect of it, because it was around 2020 when it was always going up. But then everybody's locked inside. Of course they're gonna watch stuff like that. It's like they're just sitting around doing nothing.
Because it almost felt like, at least like with Cumtown, like it almost, which sounds weird what I'm gonna say next, it felt like you were in a group of friends.
Right. To me, that's kind of
a group of friends in a Cumtown.
In a Cumtown. Yeah.
But like that's how
one might call that a circle jerk.
But like that's how I remember like growing up. My friends, like, that's why I said it was like the sleepover where you're just all delirious and everything is funny. Like that's what it felt like listening to that. So especially during quarantine.
Yeah.
My friend John Palmer introduced me to it, and immediately I was just like, there's a channel on YouTube that I think plays like all of the episodes. So that's all I listened to, like while I was at work and then after work sometimes, because I couldn't go out and do anything.
Right.
So yeah, it was a comforting thing. That's probably when I should have gotten a cat.
Yeah, right.
During quarantine.
That would have probably been the thing. Might have been maybe better for your mental health than Cumtown would have been the cat.
I don't think so.
No. For those that don't know, this man just got a cat a month ago. I don't think we've told them that part. We talked about your cat a little bit, but
Surprise.
We never said it was a month ago. Yeah, surprise. Yep. He's a new cat owner, this man.
Brand new.
Yeah, he's adjusting to the life of ownership of life. It is a responsibility. With great responsibility comes great power, Is
that Spider-Man?
Spooderman. That's Spoodermun. Spoodermun. Yeah. The kids know. The kids know what I'm talking about.
Ah.
You're not a TikTok guy. You wouldn't understand. Spooderman is a Spider-Man. I'll show you. I'll show you Spooderman.
Okay.
I'm not just making
I'll
this
reluctantly watch for the show.
It's not even a video. It's just a picture.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to see this, but I'll look at it for you. This is Spooderman right here. It
looks like Hans Moleman from The Simpsons.
Yeah, it kind of does, right?
Yeah, it's him wearing a Spider-Man mask.
I wonder, See, like, the problem I think with internet humor now is, like, jokes come from out of nowhere. Like, they just happen out of nowhere, and then it spreads like wildfire. Whereas, like, the way it's supposed to be is one person says something funny, and then it becomes a thing that spreads throughout the nation. Like, it doesn't happen within 2 hours. It happens within days. It happens within
Like,
months.
what are you talking about?
Like, if you had, like, a phrase that goes around, like, oh, that's chill. Oh, that's radical, dude. Like, something like that. Some people said in the 90s, they don't say now. Stuff like that.
That's coming
That
back.
became a thing that people would just, like, they would start to say it because they heard somebody else say it. Now, kids just type in something stupid in a comment, and that becomes slang. Like, Riz. That's the new thing that kids say is Riz. Because one kid like had this video about Riz and like rizzing a girl up, and then like people would say the Rizzler, he's a big one. I'm sure you don't know the Rizzler, but everybody knows him.
I only know him because he was on AEW, the wrestling show.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
that's right. Him and I don't know if that
And
was
while
him.
I was
I thought that was
watching
the Boom
it-
guys. I thought that was We Bring the Boom.
maybe I think it was that guy you're talking. Because I was like messaging someone because he got a huge reaction, and I'm just like, who the fuck is this kid? Like,
You know what? That's how I felt when Travis Scott was there for that
I
John
didn't know-
Cena.
yeah.
Like, why is Travis Scott there? I get that, but that was actually the general reaction. Was like, why is Travis Scott here for this? Because at least like,
I didn't know who he was.
yeah, it's like, what does he do? I know only so most of what I know about Travis Scott. He had like he had a festival a few years ago where a couple people died, and like they died at it was his festival, so that was kind of like the part that was like the biggest no in the story. It's like, it's his thing. It's called Astro World, and that's the name of his album.
Yeah.
And so it's his festival. He's the one who's telling everybody to come. He's the one whose face is on everything. And he's kind of one of these guys who it's like a punk thing where he'll go out and it's like a rage type of performance where he's like trying to get the audience to mosh and rage and all of this. Okay. He riles them up. And the thing was, there was like conditions with the way, like there was 30-minute, 40-minute videos on this whole thing because a couple people died, and it was the way that like they had timed everything out at the festival. Like, it wasn't like other festivals.
He's trying to do like a wall of death thing.
Kind of, because they herded everybody in this way where it's like there's only one exit, so there's not really a good way for you to get out if you're in this crowd. And also, it wasn't really enough space for the amount of people they had there. And so like when a couple, and also they didn't provide like enough water. It was really hot. Like, you couldn't buy water. It was things like this where it was like oversights by the people who put the festival together.
Yeah, I was about to say,
you're
that
putting
doesn't
the
sound
people
as
at
much
risk.
like it's his fault as it is whoever planned this event.
But the part that is his fault is like
that
while
his name
he was
is on it.
performing, it was going on, and like he stopped the performance and he saw it, and he was like, and then he told everybody to keep raging while this ambulance is trying to drive through. Like, the ambulance that was picking up the people who had passed out was stuck inside of the crowd because he was telling the crowd, like, he didn't try to end the situation.
And he knew what was going on.
That's really what it looks like in the videos. It looks like
hey, fuck that ambulance.
He sees what's. I think so. I can't remember exactly what he said.
Oh, well, then
To
fuck
me,
that guy.
It's such a bad look. It amazes me that, like, because I was thinking his career is over. Like, there's no way your face is on the you at least got to take a hiatus. Like, but the thing is that his fans are so dedicated, and he's got this thing where it's like, it's people identify with him, like they like it, they like that rage thing. So no matter what, I think it's never gonna end. I think that was, I can't remember if that was before or after his Fortnite event.
Was there another? There was a Fortnite issue he had too?
No, it was a Travis Scott concert on Fortnite where like Fortnite has events where if you're playing the game at a certain time, the thing will happen. And so what happened was it was a Travis Scott concert, and it was like a giant Travis Scott is there and he's rapping and it's animated, and then you were on Astro World, the thing from his album. So
I would stay away from anything Astro World if there's people dying at it.
But all this to say, he's here when the John Cena is turning heel. He's just there punching Cody Rhodes in the ear.
With shoot punches.
I don't know if that's true or not, because I think everything's kind of a
eye?
work. You have to assume everything's a work, so I don't know.
I think
You think that was real?
I think it was real. That black eye looked real.
Yeah. Oh, right, because he did have the black eye right after.
That did look real.
And I feel like Travis Scott would do that.
Yeah, and I don't know. That's...
Every time he shows up, he's smoking weed, which kind of confuses me. Like, how does this work? Because if you remember...
So did Rob Van Dam.
Would you remember
him from being a great wrestler?
Not live in front of the audience.
Okay, yeah, that might be.
I'm like, yo, that's him, John Cena, The Rock, and he's lighting up a blunt right now. This is crazy.
Wow, John Cena is a heel.
Well, even like they acknowledge it on the announcers acknowledge it. I think Pat McAfee says like he's got the sage. He's burning the sage. That's what made me even realize that he was smoking that. I was like, oh, he is burning sage. But I was gonna say it reminds me of that moment in like 2012 when R-Truth turned heel, and that was like the whole Little Jimmy thing. And when he lit up a cigarette, I remember thinking, damn, like you can't light a cigarette there. That's crazy. Because they had to pay a fine for that. It's like the stadium's rule.
Well, I don't know. There is something like
and the PG thing. You're right. Yeah.
I would think the PG thing would be more because there is like something for artists if smoking is a part of like a performance.
But he was doing it right there by the audience.
Yeah,
too.
he didn't give a shit.
He didn't give a fuck. R-Truth's heel run at that point is one of my favorite turns like ever. That was the best character. Like
when he like literally became insane because it's still kind of going to this day.
R-Truth is such a good. Him and Santino Marella are probably the best comedy acts that WWE has
100%.
Because they commit so much to what they are.
That and when Sami Zayn was with the Bloodline.
That's when I wasn't watching.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had to like watch all of that in retrospect.
I'll have to send it to you when he makes Jay start laughing in the ring. I think it's Jay. Either Jimmy or Jay.
I might have seen it. I just don't.
When he said he's just not feeling very oozy.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
And it cracks everybody up. And like Paul Heyman starts to laugh too.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. It's really
that
funny.
whole angle is great. Just that him becoming a member of the Bloodline, even though he's obviously doesn't belong there, you know? Like that's a great angle. And also like he's a face, right? That's the whole thing is they're heels and he's a face.
It's kind of what they're doing with Truth and Judgment Day.
Yeah, you're right. It is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wants to be a part of the group. I don't think so.
I remember that. I feel like that was a year ago when all that was going on because I remember that was funny. That was really funny. He would just help them randomly, and then he'd be like, "Please, please,
yeah,
please."
Yeah." He'd wearing their merch.
shirt. Yeah.
When John Cena turned heel, and Truth tweeted out about how he's so let down by his childhood hero.
I didn't see that.
Being John Cena, it's like Truth is older than John Cena.
Well, I'm trying to remember. I think that's a callback to when his heel thing, because I swear that was part of it, right? Is that he was something about John Cena. I remember him ranting about John Cena back then.
Yeah, because him and Miz teamed. Was it at WrestleMania against Rock and Cena?
The Awesome Truth.
Yes, yeah, the Awesome Truth versus it was Rock and Cena. I forgot. It wasn't Mania because that's when Cena and Rock wrestled at Mania.
Yeah, it was probably a SummerSlam. Because
it might have been like a Backlash or some shit.
Can't be. It was The Rock. It had to be a major event.
I think you're right. I think it was SummerSlam.
Yeah, because like that's another thing that's kind of like different now than then is the fact that because that PG era kind of died. Like they're in this weird stage now, or they're in a kind of in between thing.
Yeah,
like
where
The Rock's
Cody's
heel turn
telling
last
The Rock
year.
to go fuck himself.
Yeah, but even that starts with The Rock. Like if you remember last year, I think what it is The Rock. It's him and Triple H that are doing it, and I think it's cool because they are products of that era.
Yeah.
But like The Rock, when he turned heel, now he's one of the CEOs of the company. But he would like go on Instagram and just fucking curse at Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah, that's what you get when you fuck with the final boss thing,
dude. That shit I love that shit. But the problem is, I think they still have like they can't go full that direction, even if they wanted to, because I think it's an advertiser thing. Like when they went to Netflix. Everybody thought like, oh, this is where the switch flips, and now they're going to be like Attitude Era again. They're
letting some things.
Well, I know like Liv Morgan shows her ass all the time.
Yeah,
that you could not have had 10 years ago. Like,
no,
that is like some Attitude Era stuff. Also, Pat McAfee being there, he's kind of like gearing it towards that, like the reality of it.
Yeah, he lets some stuff slip.
Well, I think that's just the way that Triple H treats the announcers is so different than the way Vince did, because what Vince does. Like, he's notorious for it. He would, like, chime in over the headset, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut the fuck
that's why
up.
Mick Foley quit WWE. Because he was doing commentary. Yeah.
And then CM Punk, one thing that was always so funny is when he did commentary, he just wouldn't wear the headphones. He just wouldn't. So Vince couldn't say anything to him.
Dude, he's my favorite. Like, I don't know. Who are you? I didn't know you were a big wrestling guy, so
I love it.
I'm going to be talking about it a lot.
I'm a nerd. Like, I love when people know it. My top three of all time. See, so when I got into wrestling...
That's how I know you're a wrestling fan.
If I have,
you didn't just name people. You're like, well, you see, it's got to be.
I got to caveat it.
Exactly.
Because I know that you might have different knowledge than me. I don't want to like get the wrong answer, right? Like I didn't see Stone Cold in his prime. Like I didn't see The Rock in his prime. I didn't see all this. I started watching around like 2010. And then I watched
Ruthless Aggression. No, that was after.
It was like right at the end of the PG era.
Yeah.
Moving into like...
It's like when the Nexus was a thing?
Yes, exactly. That's literally... Exactly. It was months before the Nexus was formed is when I started watching. Right before the CM Punk Pipe Bomb promo. Right before that. Okay. So I got in at a great
Straight
time.
Edge Society, CM Punk.
Yeah, but the very end of it, like I'm talking, I didn't even really see that. Like the first I ever saw of CM Punk was the Nexus angle. That was really it.
Shit, really?
Right before that, I think he had a feud with Randy Orton. I think it was Randy Orton right before it was, but that might have been afterwards.
So I know they did like around that era because he had the Straight Edge Society.
Mm-hmm. With the shaving their heads and all that.
Yeah, and he was in a feud with Ray.
And that was with Lita.
No, it was Serena Deeb.
Okay.
She's with AEW now.
Okay. Who was the guy, though?
Luke Gallows.
Yes, yeah.
Who's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
If you ever see any interviews with him, or there's something I can send you, he does a character called Sex Ferguson. Which is just like an 80s, like typical, like, journeyman type wrestler. One of those who's like, you may have had some TV time, but you're basically town to town. It's the funniest fucking thing. It's I'll send it to you.
Okay.
He is the character Sex Ferguson, and he's just an 80s wrestler, and it's so funny.
I like that.
Yeah, he's hysterical.
80s wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Those guys are still around now, and I feel like all of them are like still who they were in the 80s. Like Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, they have not
living
changed.
the gimmick. Yeah,
they have not changed one bit. But anyway, so yeah, I started watching from 2010 to like 2015. Like it was not long after CM Punk left the company. It was a little while after that I probably stopped watching it, and then I got back into it around like 2022. But I always kept tabs. Like I always tried to keep up. Where I really fell off would probably be like 2018 to 2020. But it's probably the best time I could have because those were bad years for the WWE. Like towards the end of Vince
for
McMahon.
NXT though.
What's that?
They were great for NXT.
But
though.
that again,
Yeah.
Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yeah,
it was
once he
Triple
was
H
running the
who
ship.
was planting those seeds.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think like it's just it was a controversial thing that and dude, it all goes back to that CM Punk Pipe Bomb promo. It's crazy because CM Punk was saying that then. That Triple H is going to take over this company. Like, once it's done with Vince, it's going to be his
idiot
doofus son-in-law. Yeah.
His idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law.
Yeah. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was saying the future.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. And I remember when Vince came out and retired and passed the torch symbolically to Triple H. And that was like, I want to say, I didn't see it live, but I've seen it. And I want to say it was like 2020, 2021. It was before crowds were gone, so it was probably 2019. But that was all like that big, long thing. And so with all of that being said, my favorite three wrestlers, my top three, Bray Wyatt, CM Punk, and who's the third one? Bray Wyatt and CM Punk for sure.
Yeah, those are good ones.
It's really hard to pick a third one because I'm trying to think of like what I've seen. I might just say John Cena just as like a safe choice.
Yeah, why not?
John Cena is a misunderstood.
I was about to say
character.
we could just talk about Bray Wyatt until you think of your third one because I love Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt was to me, he showed that you could still do the type of things they were doing in the 90s and still make it work.
Yeah.
Like he was so good at having like gimmicks used to be outlandish and a little out there, but it's like committing to that character and selling that as like a true real thing.
Everything he did was so careful.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
He was so like meticulous about like, oh, there's hidden things in everything. Like everything is on purpose. So like, Firefly Funhouse, if there's a picture just like a little bit off or like, not completely straightforward or there's something that you think is hiding in the background, there is. Because like everything was so, it was almost like The Shining to me. Like everything is specifically there for a reason.
Like a Kubrick film.
It's up to you to notice it. It is, yeah. It's basically that. Like even with the barcode thing he did what is that called? It's on your business
thing you
card.
scan?
Yeah.
I think it is a barcode, right?
We'll call it that. Just
whatever. Like the thing that Hitman has on the back of his head, Agent 47.
QR code.
Oh, that thing.
But like even with those like being displayed and like he was just so creative and it was all his ideas.
Yes, and which is another rare thing, especially in the era that he was like his 2012, 2013, when the Wyatt family came around. That was kind of unheard of to have that type of creative reign over your character. Like it, and I don't even, they can't recreate it to this day. Like they're trying to do it with his brother
with the Husky Harris thing.
Right.
And then did a complete 180. None of us knew that he had that in him to be that creative. And we all knew he was a good athlete. But like even just the way he wrestled was different when he became Bray. Like everything.
And the Fiend was different.
And everything seemed more on purpose. Yeah. Like just the way he worked in the ring too. Like I think the lore is so cool.
Yeah.
But like I think something that's almost overlooked is how good of a wrestler he was too.
Because that's half of the story. It's like telling. I mean, that's what you're doing in the end. You're cutting promos to make people want to buy into the physical altercation that they're gonna see. Yeah. So like, that's kind of been like that's why John Cena always got that you can't wrestle thing, because his style of wrestling.
5 Moves to Doom.
Yeah. Like it's not. People are just different. People have different styles. And the 80s style of wrestling was so different than 90s style, where it was like more grappling and more like wrestling. Yeah. Nowadays, you have AEW where they're breaking each other's necks.
Yes. They're literally,
So, like, it's just a whole different world now. And the expectation became different.
Yeah. But you were saying with the Wyatts, with his brother doing it now, what do you think of that?
I just don't think you can do it. I think that you can try to do it, but it's already kind of playing out where it's like, oh, it's a mid-card thing. Oh, it's not really like a main event thing. Because I just don't think that it's... I think his brother is talented, but I think it's always going to be, oh, he's doing the thing that Bray Wyatt was doing, but he's not that guy. Like, he's not Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
It's always going to kind of be like a shallow interpretation of what that was, because only Bray Wyatt could have done that. Only him. Like,
and that's what made it TV. So good. I think he was hurt or something.
Say what now?
I think Bo was hurt for a while.
Yeah.
So they've been off TV. But like I was so invested, like when they were doing like those videos would just pop up.
Because it's reminiscent of...
Exactly. And it was so cool that... we all knew what it was.
Yeah.
But it was so cool. Like the therapist thing.
I like that.
Yeah, dude.
I think once they debuted, that's kind of where they've been dropping the ball. Once they actually started doing matches.
That match was so good, though. Their first one.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Bo wasn't in it, but seeing Eric Rowan back in the ring, seeing Joe Gacy finally, like, on... Like, it was the match against... Who was it against? American Alpha, wasn't it?
Yep. It was that guy that always reminds me of Kurt Angle. It was that team.
Chad Gable? Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Grande Americano.
Yeah. But maybe I'm just being a hater. Like, maybe I just have a high standard because I really liked Bray Wyatt. Because I really did. I think he's one of the best of all time. Like, that good. He should have ended the Undertaker's streak. It should have been him.
Oh, yeah.
It should not have... fucking Brock Lesnar did not need that.
Nor
Bray
did
Wyatt could have done it.
Yeah, he wouldn't have given a shit.
It didn't matter.
Like,
he was already on like this crazy streak. You didn't need to give him the fucking streak itself.
Exactly. And it would have meant something to Bray.
Oh my God.
To be able to do that.
That's one of the biggest tragedies in like modern wrestling history.
It was so weird because it happened without anyone knowing like, anything was, because I thought he like the rumor mill was he was having like creative disputes, I think with Vince at the time.
Who was?
Bray. So that's why we hadn't seen him since the LA Knight match, that Mountain Dew, Blacklight, whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
But they were having some creative dispute, and that's why he was off TV. I didn't know he was actually, like, sick.
But because that was his last thing. Right.
Yeah, that was the last televised thing.
Yeah, it was the LA Knight.
And clearly there was an evolution happening there, where we were going to get a different character of him.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
everything especially like the way that WWE has been run lately, they've been more about like longer form stories. Like
which I love. Yeah, I love that.
I like it, in a way, though, it reminds me...
I like it when it pays off. I get impatient sometimes.
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of hammer it in a bit much. Like, okay, so that whole favor thing with CM Punk, they finally just paid it off like 2 days ago.
Yeah, that wasn't...
I think yesterday.
It was last night, yeah.
Yeah, but that was something that I remember that started at...
I don't think it's the actual
Survivor
favor.
Series. That's where that story thread starts, because it was...
It was a very lackluster favor.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's why I don't think it's the actual favor.
Right, that's a good point. Like,
Yeah.
what it's actually going to be is at WrestleMania, Paul's going to betray Roman, and then CM Punk's going to win. That's probably what it's going to be. That'd be my guess, if I had to bet on it.
And I think there's something else, like... Because I don't know how much Paul Heyman has, backstage in the kayfabe world, but...
I'm pretty sure he's a big part of it.
Well, I'm thinking, like, he's going to have Punk... be in the match with John Cena and Cody. You know what I mean?
Like,
Like,
it's gonna
some
change?
strings are gonna get pulled. No, he's gonna be in both main events.
I don't know.
That's the only thing, because hey, he's gonna be in my corner. That's the big favor. There's got to be something more.
But what if there's not? What if that
Then
is
they
it?
shit the bed with that.
I think that's
with
more
that
like...
long form story.
Because I agree with you, that would be cool, but I think that's more like fantasy booking, because I don't think that they would... The way that they've done the CM or John Cena and Cody Rhodes build up, it wouldn't make sense to do that.
Yeah,
now.
to throw Punk in the or because I feel like Cena's going to get another title run.
Oh yeah,
and I think it's going to happen at Mania. Mm-hmm. And then maybe Punk will get a title shot from him.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed, I don't know if this is real or if this is like, because I feel like there's a lot of bots in the WWE comment section.
100%.
So they might just be trying to make this happen, like plant the seeds in fans' head. Because every time I see these Randy Orton videos or on these John Cena videos, there'll be people saying like, oh, like let's get one more face Randy Orton versus heel John Cena feud. I would much rather see CM Punk versus John Cena.
Oh, yeah.
Much rather.
Yeah, because they have a good history, too. Like, the whole pipe bomb revolved around Cena.
Cena laying there crippled
as
for 5
uncomfortable
minutes.
as you possibly can, but yeah.
Yeah, that is what he said.
Yes.
That's how he starts the pipe bomb. You're right. John,
I've got
as you
a lot
lay
of
there.
things on my mind. I've watched, I don't know how many times I've watched that.
I saw it live. Did you see it live?
Yes.
Yeah. That was what made me really get into wrestling, was seeing that live. And then, like I said, that was right after.
Because nobody knew,
and it felt real.
Exactly.
It is real. In a sense, that's what's so genius about CM Punk, is that he
Blurs
does
the
manage
lines.
to blur that. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be blurring the line just enough to where I feel like you're really making me believe this reality. Like,
yeah.
Because we all know the circumstances that lead to you being here speaking.
Yes.
We all know how this works. So if you still manage to get me invested, that's the magic of this. And he manages to play on... Even the whole feud he has with Seth Rollins is based on Seth Rollins talking shit.
Legit, yeah.
In real life while he was gone.
This is what I always loved for Kevin Owens, who I don't know if he's actually hurt right now. If he is, that fucking sucks, because he's amazing.
Yeah.
But when he was in Ring of Honor, which is the most smart mark crowd you could be in front of, especially at that time.
then?
Kevin Steen.
Right.
And he would literally, the most smart mark crowd you could ever ask for.
For those that don't know, a smart mark is just someone who's like a snobby wrestling fan.
Basically, yeah. They know too much.
And there's a lot of them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a good example for... They're just such a unique breed that they're on their own.
Yeah, I mean, who
they call wrestlers,
the
like when they
who-
meet them, they call them by their real names. Like if you
the
met
guy
the
who
Undertaker,
does-
be like, "Hey, Mark." It's like, call him Mr. Undertaker, okay?
I'm thinking of the guy who does the 5-star ratings. You know who that is?
Dave Meltzer.
I
Yeah.
would call him the classic Smark, but he's elevated the ladder
Because he's made a
climbed
living
so far
out of
up
it.
that he's made a living out of it. That wrestlers actually give a fuck what he has to say.
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's the Young Bucks named their finisher after him, the
That's
Meltzer driver.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a fuck what Dave Meltzer? Like, he's not the all-being hive mind.
He's
of
never
wrestling.
made me enjoy or despise a match any more or less, depending on his opinion.
Yeah.
His opinion has never changed my feelings towards, like, if I loved a match, it has nothing to do with him.
Yeah, exactly. And then like a mark, just a mark would be somebody who just, it's like the classic person who's, it's like if you have a mark in sales, like, oh, this guy's a mark, like I can sell him.
Easy target. Yeah.
Yeah. So a smart mark is someone who's like sold on the entire thing, and also they're smart about it. Like
yeah, they think they know everything.
Yeah. Somebody I think who is like a good counterweight to a Dave Meltzer is CM Punk endorses this guy. He co-signs him, so that's what makes me know he's good. Is Jim Cornette. If you've ever...
I fucking love Jim Cornette.
He's the best, dude. He is the best. He's my favorite wrestling commentator by miles.
He's someone I have not met, but I would love to meet Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of his for years.
And he's always spot on in my mind. Like, he always knows exactly what the problem is. If there's something something bad, and I knew it was bad, but I couldn't quite pinpoint it, he will tell me what it was.
Like, people do get on him for being a little too, like, living in the past and stuff, but he just likes things that make sense.
Well, and he's like a purist in that way.
Yeah.
Right. He cares about the art form of wrestling.
Yeah. The reason you did this move is because this happened. Mm-hmm. Or the reason you're working this body part is because your finisher, you know, you're going to work someone's arm because your finisher is some sort of arm lock.
And if you, like...
We sound like smart marks right now.
But it's true, though, because like if you look at the top 5 managers, like if you had most people that list them, it's almost always like Heyman, Cornette, and then like a couple others.
Bobby Heenan,
yeah, it's those top 3. It's almost always.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking the best of all time, because of their ability to cut a promo that will sell you. Like, it's the blurring the reality. It's making you feel like this matters. Like, he's one of the best at it. And and if you watch him in his prime, Cornette is like gold. That guy just can... What's so crazy about him is he can rattle shit off, like at rapid fire, like so intense.
Mile a minute,
Yeah, but... And it all... If you pay attention, you see what he's doing, it's all selling the angle. He everything he says is selling the angle in one way. Or like, and he kind of did the original CM Punk thing where it's like the pipe bomb thing where he, back in the 90s, he would go and I think every week he would criticize what they're doing at the time.
Yeah.
And you just get to hear what
I forgot what it was called.
Shit.
Cornette's Corner or some shit.
Yeah, I think that's it. I suspect they let him do that.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon said, okay, just go talk your shit. You got 5 minutes.
Yes, and he fit 10 minutes of shit into that 5 minutes because he talks so goddamn fast.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is, in that smart mark, like, Ring of Honor, Kevin Steen still pissed people off enough where they'd be waiting in the parking lot to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Knowing that this is a work, this isn't real, he would get under their skin so much.
Isn't that what CM Punk did when he left Ring of Honor?
He did
like
that
turned
in a lot
heel
of
at the
promotions.
very end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just fucking flipped everybody off.
Yeah, signed his contract on the ROH title.
Yeah, that was it. Because there was the reality of them saying, like, you can't go to the big league. Like, that's not, this is where it's at. You can't go there. And so him playing into them feeling that way.
Yeah, he started wearing suits and stuff. Yeah. I have the DVD. I got it signed by him, actually. It's the Summer of Punk DVD.
Yeah, that was,
and
I remember
it has that whole storyline on it with him versus, like, Samoa Joe and stuff, too, which was so cool.
Yeah, and they had their final match at Wembley Stadium, right? Not that long ago.
Yeah, that was the last AEW match Punk was in.
Yep, that was the infamous, right before the infamous
with the backstage,
fake glass, like backstage. AEW is still like holding on to that moment. It's AEW in my eyes. It's like how Cornette is spot on about everything. When CM Punk came out and talked about AEW in that interview he did, I don't know if you ever saw it. He was like, it's this guy.
Yeah, with Ariel Helwani.
Yeah. He basically laid it all out the best way anybody possibly could.
And he was so careful. Like, he didn't break the NDA.
Yep.
But he let enough information out. Like, what was the one thing he said? He's like, oh, we don't have an NDA for anything I did. Like, he said these things that just like, oh, he's a wordsmith. Like, he let you know just enough without getting himself in trouble.
Yeah, and what he said was like damning. Because afterwards, that was when... and it just shows how...
I didn't punch him. I just choked him a little bit.
And then they released the security footage. There was like the Bucks came out, and there was no. What's so stupid about it is in storyline, like in like the story that the AEW fans are watching, it makes no sense for the Bucks to come out and show you that. It was clearly them capitalizing on the viral CM Punk talking about it moment.
I don't even know why.
And it made them look worse.
Yeah.
All the comments are like, why would you do this?
It really, yeah, I don't know what they thought they were going to get out of it.
Because it shows CM Punk barely did anything. That's what it shows, is he didn't really do much.
No, he shoved him and then choked him.
And when you say choke, it's like literally like just grabbing
Because,
somebody.
Joe was right there. And my favorite part is you see Chris Hero in it. The guy with like the long blonde phone. Do you know Chris Hero?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing wrestler too.
Yeah.
But he's an agent for them. And you see him just shake his head. He's so disappointed. Because he knows what's going to happen. He knows Punk's getting fired. But you just see him just walking away, just shaking his head. So disappointed.
There was so much of that with like the AEW world where they couldn't really... Here, let me fix that cushion for you.
Oh, you're good.
Well, it's like it slides way out. Oh, it'll be more comfortable if I push it back. There we go. Boom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, I remember like after it happened, CM Punk was saying like there's people in AEW who do side with me on this, but they just can't say anything. Like I don't want to make anybody look bad in the company, but there has to be so much of that because the problem with AEW is like if Smarks were running wrestling, like that's what's happening. It's people
the ultimate
who are
one and Tony Khan.
And Tony Khan is the ultimate one, exactly. And so like all the stories where it's like Tony Khan, and also Tony Khan's afraid of the talent. So he's not like a Vince McMahon. He's not like the type of person that's gonna tell them what they can and can't do. And the other thing it makes me think is like it reminds me of like that's the locker room behavior you probably would expect in that type of environment. So the fact that this is like this crazy, scary thing to me is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, I would expect that guys are like getting at each other and getting pissed off. And it's like a testosterone fueled thing that you're doing, of course. Like, I'm not surprised CM Punk fucking... And if you listen to CM Punk tell the story... The guy was actively, like, trying to piss him off.
Yeah.
Like, it would piss you off. It was like the whole fake glass thing. That was what it was. Because he had jumped on fake... So CM Punk told him, look, because he was in charge of the show, like, Tony Khan gave him creative reign over one of the shows. And so Tony Khan... So CM Punk is telling this guy, you can't use fake glass, or you have to use fake glass. You can't use real glass in this car because we just can't do that. We can't rent a car and pay for the car. Like if we did that all the time, and also it's dangerous. We can't do that on TV. Like we just can't do that.
Yeah.
And so then, was it Jungle Boy? I think it was.
Yes.
So
Jack Perry.
Jack Perry. Yeah. He's on TV looking at the camera saying, and like hitting the glass, real glass. Big fucking deal. I can't remember what he says exactly.
Do you have a camera over here too?
No, I just don't.
I was about to say I see that one, but I saw you like looking that way.
Look the wrong way all the time. I think that way.
That's what I do. That's my thinking corner.
I've seen you look that way. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm like, is there a camera?
It's like hidden. It's a hidden camera show. That'd be great. Like fucking, you watch the video. There's 20 different angles you didn't know about. Holy shit!
Start popping out.
But yeah, no, it's just he did that, and then it was at that event that CM Punk saw it, and this was right after CM Punk already had like he showed up in London and he didn't have like any travel service, anything. He was just expected to take the train. Yeah, there was nothing lined up for him, which. Just talent like him, you'd expect something like that, I would assume. Like, at that point, like, he's in another country. Maybe don't make him take a train. But he wasn't even mad about that. That was just a part of the story.
Yeah.
It's just all just bad.
The whole thing,
it's all bad, because it's like a bunch of people being immature, where if you just took this seriously and just behaved like adults, none of that would have even taken place. Because add on to that, I think it was Jack Perry before that, where like they had a promo they were going to do.
That was Hangman.
Hangman Adam Page, yeah. And so they had a promo they were going to do, and then he goes off script and starts talking about all this backstage shit. Which, in my mind, when I watch that, what I'm seeing is he thinks he's doing like the pipe bomb moment thing. He thinks, oh, I'm bringing reality into this. But really, none of the stuff he's saying makes any sense to the audience.
No, and you see Punk's face change during it when he's just like, he gives him that look like, watch what you're fucking saying.
Yep.
Because he starts bringing up like how Punk treats talent backstage or something.
Like, and again, alluding. It's like immature AEW workplace drama.
Yeah.
That's what was happening, but he was bringing that to the storyline.
Trying to make that the story when that wasn't what was planned. Mm-hmm. At least from my understanding, that's what happened.
And I remember, CM Punk, like every time the mic would go back to CM Punk, he said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just am here to talk about our match.
Yeah.
That was his response. Like he was... A very classy way of saying, I'm not even going to go there.
You're on your own now. Went into business for himself. That's how he described it. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the term is don't go into business for yourself.
Yeah.
And so, like,
don't work yourself into a shoot.
That's really where it all went wrong for CM Punk and AEW, because before that, it was kind of all like peaches and cream. Like,
he was really excited to be there.
That was his major return. When CM Punk came back and he was in AEW, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That was one of the things that brought me back to wrestling, actually.
Was it?
Yes.
Me and Derek Strong were in Nebraska doing shows. And so we're at our Airbnb. And thankfully, our Airbnb had cable.
Okay.
So that we could see the return. And we both just fucking lost our shit. We're like, oh my God, this is actually happening.
Right.
Yeah. And that's another Jim Cornette quote. He's like, CM Punk sold out the United Center on a rumor. Because it wasn't confirmed that he was actually going to show up. Uh-oh.
Oh my God. She's trying to nestle her way.
She's like, enough of you two talking about wrestling.
But anyway, yeah, no, I remember that because it was like they were planting little seeds too. There was the rumor, but there was also the fact that, like, I think Triple H, what was it? Like there was little hints. Like the week before, they said a couple things on Raw that the catchphrases that had to do with CM Punk and like little things
best
like
in the
that.
world type shit. Yeah.
Yeah, best in the world. And it was just like I think what made it so like magical is it's one of those things that even if someone told you it was going to happen, you wouldn't believe them.
Yeah.
It was so CM Punk's exit from wrestling was so abrupt, and like he with the whole podcast that he did with Cabana, yeah, and the whole fallout of that, like it just seemed like he was so burnt out from the whole thing. Why would you even go back?
Yeah.
But then we finally see CM Punk again
getting fired on his wedding day,
right? When for like, and that's so
while his wife was still with the company.
And with him going back to AEW, it made sense because it's like, okay,
it's clean slate.
Him going back to AEW or WWE was unheard of. That was so unbelievable. Like even now when I see it, it's still hard for me. Even though it's been a year, I still am like, this doesn't seem.
Well, especially right. I just watched that Stephanie's Places show.
Yeah.
Stephanie McMahon show. Have you heard about that?
No.
Hey.
What is it?
Okay. Well, back to what we were talking about. It's like kind of an interview show. And so she talks to Punk on it, and seeing them like hug and like talk civilly.
It's wrong.
Yeah. That was his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law. Now he's got like these nice things to say about them.
Yeah.
And it's good for him on being like, yeah, I mean, we've all said shit we didn't mean. And so it's nice of him that like he is able to work that out, and he does seem like he's substantially happier.
I think it's
WWE
because,
now.
Again, I think it's Triple H. I think it's because there's no more.
He's got a
McMahon.
way of bringing people back. Bruno Sammartino too, who shat on WWE forever.
Oh right.
Yeah, and still managed to work it out where he got in the Hall of Fame.
And then I think there was a clip on YouTube. I didn't watch it, but I remember seeing the thumbnail for the video. It was like Bruno Sammartino and Cody Rhodes talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't even connect
well, even
those
with
dots.
Cody.
Yeah.
Because I mean he was one of the like CEOs of AEW.
When Cody not only was he a CEO, but he actively talked shit about WWE.
Smashed
during that
the
whole...
Triple H looking throne.
Yeah. Yeah. Cody Rhodes is an interesting cat.
He
He really is though, because like again, I left and I came back, so I kind of had to like
he was
figure
Stardust probably. Around that time. Yeah,
that's kind of my last. But I remember when I first saw him was Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah,
which I loved that gimmick. I actually really liked it.
I didn't think it was bad.
And then he was ugly because he hurt his. Rey
Mysterio
broke his nose.
Because he had like a Patrick Bateman American Psycho thing going.
Yeah,
where he talked really slow. Like he seemed like he was actually going insane.
Yeah.
So I did appreciate that character.
And then it was Stardust.
Yeah. Which was it happened. I mean, but good on him. He left the company on his own accord and built himself up to where, was it undesirable to undeniable?
Yeah, and in the face of all those smart audiences, like people who actively were rejecting his character and booing him at his best. Like that, to the point where he like forced them to accept him. Like that's why he's such a weird story. There's so much of like the interplay between the audience and him when it comes to his evolution, you know.
I think once I think everybody, I can't speak for everybody. I'm gonna speak for everybody. We all knew how good he actually was and that he was above that Stardust gimmick. So when we found out, like, oh, he wasn't fired, he left on his own accord and wants to wrestle as Cody Rhodes on the indies. Then he made that list of all the people he wanted to wrestle, and it's all people we know are amazing wrestlers. Kurt Angle, the Young Bucks were on there, Chris Hero is on there. You're like, oh, we're actually going to get to see the real Cody Rhodes now, not hindered by a stupid character or 5 minutes on a main event match.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we can actually see what he can do now.
Which was, again, the original hope of AEW. That was what it was supposed to be. It's like you're not going to get all this bad booking. You're not going to get all this, like, whatever Vince McMahon wants. You're going to get these wrestlers doing the characters they want and being able to, like, sell themselves.
I think they hired too many people.
That, and I think that there is a reason there's a WWE creative. Like, at a certain point, you do need a team to kind of rein that in, because
you need someone to tell you no.
Yeah, because otherwise you'll just do random ass shit and it won't all add up in the end. Like, there needs to be a big grand picture. Like, even just the fact that WWE has WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Like, you have two big events that you're going to lead up to throughout the year. That's kind of important. And then you need to have long-term storytelling that will make sense once you get to that. You can't just have wrestlers, oh, this week I'm going to do this and you're going to do this.
Yeah.
Because then it just becomes, like, then you get Chris Jericho as he is now.
I don't even know what it is. Is he still doing, like, the learning tree?
I don't know.
Where he's like, hi, guys.
I don't keep up with it.
Neither do I. The one person I love in AEW, though, well, there's two things I really like. Have you heard of the Outrunners?
Mm-mm.
Okay, they're like a throwback 80s team.
Okay.
So they're kind of like Sex Ferguson.
All right.
The other is the guitar player of my favorite band of all time is in AEW as a wrestler now.
Who's that?
The Butcher.
Okay.
Have you heard of Every Time I Die?
Sounds familiar.
That's my favorite band ever, and he's a wrestler in AEW because the band's broken up now. So he went full time with AEW. Now he's got an action figure out. Like, it's just so cool to see because I've always, like, he's very open about his wrestling fandom. So seeing him go Every Time I Die breaks up and he's now in AEW as a wrestler, it's like, it's weird when you followed a band that long, you're like proud of shit they do outside of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, not so much proud of what Travis Scott has done.
We mentioned Billy Corgan before this. He went from music to wrestling in that weird way where he like owns, what is it?
He owns NWA.
Yeah, right.
Because he owned TNA for a little bit.
Which I didn't even know that until recently, which is crazy.
That was for maybe, I think it was less than a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a bad falling out, I think. I think there's still lawsuits about it.
I wonder what owning a wrestling company is like.
It would take the fun out of it, I think, for me.
Probably.
That's what and maybe this is how, you know, with comedy and music, I wonder if you're this way too. Once you actively do it, it's not that you don't enjoy comedy or music the same way. Or no, you do enjoy it. It's just different, right? Like when I watch a comedy special now, which I rarely do just because I'm around it so much, I feel like I'm watching it differently. I'm watching it for, let me check out his cadence, or let me check out her, you know, joke writing like process. Do I see the punchline coming?
Yeah. Like
little nuances rather than just enjoying the special for what it is.
Yeah.
Do you feel that at all?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like ignorance is bliss, right? Like the less you know, the better. Like if I don't know all these ins and outs, if I don't know all that, it's less complicated in my mind. I don't have to calculate all this stuff because I'm not even thinking about that. Like, I think the best art kind of finds a way to still instill that. Like, even if you know all those things, it's still good. But that's really hard. Like, to make comedy seem effortless, to make music seem effortless, I think when you do it, like, fluidly enough, then you kind of manage to break that, where now I'm seeing the you in it. I'm not thinking about the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, it's unavoidable. Like whatever you do.
Like one of the only comics, this is probably unfair to say, one of the only comics I actually still really, really enjoy watching is Dave Attell, who's my favorite comic all time. I was lucky enough to get to open for him, which was super cool.
That's cool.
So I did 5 shows with him.
I imagine you spoke with him too.
Yeah,
we hung out with him.
He took us out to dinner. He was awesome.
That's awesome, dude.
But I got to watch him do 5 different sets. Or not 5 different sets. But I could see the tweaks that he made, but it was still like, it was one of those things where you think like, how crazy, when you first start comedy, how crazy would it be if I got to open for Dave Attell?
Yeah.
And then I did, and it was the best weekend I think I've ever had in comedy. But then I was
personal, like watching him tweak it too. Yeah. It's like a very close, intimate thing to see almost.
Exactly. Like from doing we did 2 shows in one night, and the set was different. Mm-hmm. Like some of the same premises, but like just getting that inside glimpse of how his mind works as my favorite comic was super cool.
Right.
But it's still, I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it, I think, a little bit differently. But when his special came out, all of that went out the window, and I was just there watching the special, like enjoying it for what it was, like any fan would. So he's the only one I think I can really watch and still be a fan, which is my whole point, is why I would never get into anything wrestling related. Because I love it too much where I don't want any of that fun I have watching it to be taken away from me.
I've always kind of like fantasized that it would be really, like, I would never want to wrestle. When I was younger, I used to like do like stupid professional wrestling stuff with my friends on a mattress.
No matter how many times they told us, don't try this at home.
I was telling somebody about that. They had no idea what I was talking about. I thought everybody did that.
Yeah.
I thought everybody like RKO'd their friends on a mattress at least once.
Yes.
But he could not. It was Tony Angelos, the realtor. I think it's on this podcast is when that happened. I got to educate him
on backyard wrestling.
Yeah. He had no idea this was a thing.
Oh no.
But yeah, no. But nowadays, I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. But I would love.
I will set up a mattress. I don't give a fuck.
See, I'll be your manager. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want to be that character in the
You'll
story,
be the mouthpiece. Okay.
Yeah, because I could pull that off. I know I could.
Yeah.
I just know. Like now that WWE is in the position it's in, like I fantasize about it. I'm like, what if I just reach the level of success to where they want me to like now they're reaching out to comedians. They had Andrew Schultz on Raw. Yep. Now they're doing the roast of WrestleMania after WrestleMania with Tony Hinchcliffe hosting it. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
I was very surprised about that.
That's weird. The roast of WrestleMania?
Yep.
Like the concept as a whole, or like WrestleMania, whatever number we're at. That's weird.
I don't know. I think it's the WrestleMania that just happened. I think that's what it is, but it might be WrestleMania in general. I think it's just the one that happened. It will be interesting, right?
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to, like, ever since the UFC buyout and the Triple H takeover and all of that, I think they've been trying to gear it more towards other, like, capitalize on that there's other things out. That's why Travis Scott was there.
Yeah.
They're trying to take people from other things and, like, hey, look, it's
get
that
other
guy.
Forms of entertainment.
With comedians, though, that is the right move. I'm amazed they didn't figure it out sooner. Like, when I saw Andrew Schultz on Raw, I'm like, this makes perfect sense.
It's amazing the crossover there is between wrestling and comedy.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I agree.
Most of the comedians I know are wrestling fans.
Which is weird. It doesn't
yeah,
even
it's like,
make
where
sense.
the fuck were you guys in high school when I needed you?
For real.
Right?
They were on wrestling threads like you. They were on the forums.
Yeah, exactly.
Reading the dirt sheets, dude.
Reading the dirt sheets. Pretending you hate it when you're in school.
Yeah, it is interesting how that happens because there's a lot of them. There's literally so that SmackDown that just happened with the favorite thing was in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it upsets me because every time they come to Chicago, I miss it. And when I on my story last night, it was Alex Rumbos. I forgot how to pronounce his last name, but he was there.
Oh,
I see like a picture on his story. And I'm like, curse the heavens. Like, for one, I don't even know if I talked to him about wrestling. I can't remember. But for another thing, I just think it's funny. Of course, he was there. It was like a boomerang of Cody Rhodes doing the crossroads in a dark match. That's what it was.
Oh, nice.
After the show, it was Cody Rhodes versus, I can't remember who it was. I think it's Solo. I think they had him fight Solo for the dark match. You know, dark matches they'll do anything.
Yeah, it's them trying to figure out, like, usually for a match down the road.
One thing I think is so funny is when John Cena left the company with that whole CM Punk angle in 2012, he came out in a dark match as Juan Cena wearing a
Juan
Lucha
Cena.
Libre mat. Like, he's wearing a Lucha Libre mask, and he's Juan Cena, and everybody knows it's John Cena, and he's currently fired from the company.
Yeah, but Juan Cena.
And with Triple H, they did it before, and he was called Hache Hache Hache.
Really? Yes. I didn't know that.
That is the funniest thing ever to me.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
Hache, hache, hache.
Yeah. That is so funny.
That's
Yeah, dude.
Everyone's in on that joke.
Yeah, but that's like what's fun about the house shows, I think, is that they do more like there's not going to be a title change. I think the wrestlers probably play to the crowd more.
Like, that's nuts.
Rarely does it ever happen, but
they did it with Samoa Joe. I think won the NXT title that way.
I think they do that just to shake things up.
Yeah. Just like anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly. You better be at these house shows.
Yeah, but that'll happen once every 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Don't count on it.
Just to show you it is real. Mm-hmm. It actually is real.
Yeah,
and anything can happen. I really do like. I like the direction it's going, and I also think that there is like a resurgence of wrestling at the moment. Like, I think more and more
cool
people.
Again. Yeah.
Yes, which is the only way we get out of that pit. I think they need to commit more to that. Like, it's for adults thing. I think they should go.
That's where the money is, I think.
Yup, and it's not. I think that's kind of what they're doing with even including comedians. Like, there's no way that Tony Hinchcliffe is going to go easy on wrestling. He's probably going to call them all gay because they're wearing tights.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're going to be, as lowbrow as possible.
Yeah.
But that's probably what you need.
But that's what he's there for, yeah.
Yeah, you need some levity, and you need like that. Edge was having sex alive inside of a ring on Raw at one point in time.
Yeah,
that was what was happening. A live sex celebration. That's what I want to see. I want it to go back to that. Because I think that's what's really going to make headlines and get them really in that, and then including like people from outside of that world and like finding a way to naturally incorporate them. You know, like Andrew Schultz getting dragged into the ring, or like who else is they used to do that celebrity thing where they'd have celebrity guest hosts on Raw, but I feel like that's they became a little bit gimmicky. Like, you have to do it the right way.
Bob Barker.
Yeah. It would be like random people from the USA Network.
Yeah.
These guys fix
Whoever
houses.
had a show to promote on USA.
Yeah.
It was,
The
Jeremy Piven was on it once.
Yeah, they did a bunch of them. I remember, I feel like Machine Gun Kelly was one of the hosts once.
Yeah, because he got a powerbomb through a table by Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Yes, he did. And to this day, Machine Gun Kelly brags about that to his friends.
Wouldn't you? That's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? It is awesome. I'm not gonna lie. If I were that manager, I would want to have like one good big spot that I'd take, one big bump.
Yeah.
Look at me. I went through the announce table.
Have you ever taken a bump in a ring?
No.
It is painful.
I bet it is.
I did one, and that's when I decided I'm just going to be a fan.
How did you even get in that situation?
It was a friend of mine, Ryan. Let me think of it.
I've always wanted to try.
I don't know if he uses his real name or his gimmick name, so I don't want to give away his real name. So let me see.
I just feel like because I remember when they came to my town for like the traveling amusement park thing. They were there 1 year. That's the only time I've ever seen like local wrestling. I don't even think I was able to. I wanted to go in that ring so bad.
It was his name's Zeke Zichi. That's his gimmick name.
Okay.
But he owns Zoa Wrestling, and so he did a Zoa show. I forgot what town it was in, but it was and he's a comic, so we did a comedy show too. So there were 2 shows that happened. Like, one wrestling show happened earlier in the day, which was like their family-friendly one.
Okay.
Then a comedy show.
And they bust out the hammers.
Yes, and then the real shit happened, like the adult comedy show, or the adult wrestling show happened after.
Nails.
Yes, there was hardcore matches.
Yeah.
But, so that's when, after the event was over, I'm like, I got a favor to ask you. I've always wanted to just run the ropes. So I got to fuck around in the ring, and then one of the wrestlers came in. He's like, do you want to take a bump? I'm like, yes. And I did.
What was the bump? What did you do?
Oh, it was just like where you fall.
Oh, just falling back?
Yeah, just like how you're first learning to wrestle. Like, you got to learn how to fall.
But he told you how to fall, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's like, it wasn't bad. I'm like, well, I'm never doing it again. Like, it was
knock the wind out of you?
No, it didn't knock the wind out of me because he told me to take a breath out as you fall back.
Huh.
So that there's no air in your lungs, so you can't get the wind knocked out of you.
Oh.
And like it saves you somehow. But I felt it for like 3 days after. Let's see.
And that's their lives 24/7.
I had the video.
Okay, I want to see
get
this.
it up for you. Because yeah, that was
Man, I and they're doing that so often with everything.
Yeah, and I guess you're supposed to get used to it. I never saw myself getting used to it.
What blows my mind is like when I was younger, I used to think like, okay, of course you can just fall down. When the older I get, the more I realize like these guys are like 35, falling flat on their backs all the time.
And they'd been doing it for so long.
Yeah. That can't be good for anyone, but especially if you're like older like that. Maybe if you start young, your body develops a resilience to just like flatlining on the ground 24/7. It's just wild. What a fucking lifestyle that is, you know?
Yeah, you got to be insane. It's like supposedly it's like getting in a car crash. Like,
I bet. Because of the whiplash of it. Yeah, I bet.
where is this?
It's getting in car accidents daily.
Yeah, it's like at 30 miles an hour or something.
And that's not even to mention like what CM Punk and Seth Rollins just did that power bomb off the top of the Hell in a Cell during that Hell in a Cell match. That's the last like big spot I can remember with WWE.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy used to do crazy ladder jumps all the
Here it
time.
is.
If you remember Edge's big spear off of the ladder in WrestleMania 23, like shit like that where you're falling from 10 feet
Yeah.
up. That's fucking crazy.
And I love that people asked Edge, like, how many times did you and Jeff rehearse that? It's like, you think we did that more than once?
Right? That's crazy.
Here we go.
Let's see this. Here, I'll point it towards the camera a little bit. Oh, that's not bad. Damn, you really committed though.
Yeah.
So did he tell you to put your shoulders up? Like how do you, oh no, you flat.
He told me to tuck my chin.
Okay.
You're supposed to tuck your chin so you don't knock yourself out. And then...
It looked like you went like this too with your arms.
Oh, yeah. You're supposed to, like, smack the mat.
Okay.
Like, so
to spread out the... I imagine that would be spreading it out.
I think so, but I thought it was more just so it makes a cool noise. So it sounds like it hurts more. But the way you described it, I think you're right. I thought it was just to make it sound more impactful.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of both, honestly.
But let me see. I think there's the aftermath of it, too. Yeah.
Limping away. You're like fucking stretching your back out.
Yeah. That was but I'm glad I did it.
Just to know.
Just to know that I'm going to stay a fan.
Well, and it reminds you what you're seeing, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people get this false impression that it is just a rubber mat and none of it's really painful.
I thought it was a trampoline for
That's
the
what
longest
everybody
time.
thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it's like, oh, that looks cool. It's like...
Well, and you'd think the wrestlers are like playing into the kayfabe when they say, no, the ring's so hard, like it actually hurts. You think they're just making it sound like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you actually feel it, and it's hard wood, essentially.
Yeah, with like this thin of a mat on it.
I mean, hardcore wrestling goes too far often. Like, I think there is a limit. But, like, I remember it was, who's that guy who does the finger guns from Japan? He's big in AEW. He was really
Kenny
big in
Omega?
Japan. Yes.
Okay.
Kenny Omega, and he fought... Can't remember even who it was that he fought, but they had this like hardcore match where they tore off the padding of the ring and then they did a move onto the unprotected ring.
Onto just the 2x4. Like,
oh my god,
who was it? Was it Adam Page?
I think so.
I think it was.
But I mean, like that. I remember hearing Kevin Cornette talk about that match, or Jim Cornette talk about that match, and he's just saying like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah,
like it's torture. You're watching two guys torture each other at that point. Like,
and those boards are like loose too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks. I remember what you're talking about. That looks fucking. Ugh.
But
it is. You're right. It does give you an idea that like. The mat is so thin that it's not comfortable to do that.
No.
Yeah, these guys are actually hurting themselves.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of like, I mean, again, I think it's not even as unpopular to say it now. Like that there's athleticism to wrestling and that there are cool things to appreciate about it. I think now people get that more than they might have 10 years ago. I think that's kind of where it's headed. But yeah, there's all kinds of things. For me, it's actually the stories that I've always liked the most.
It's compelling, yeah. That's why I think I like Bray Wyatt so much. Because of that story.
I feel like there's something true to life about being able to create a narrative like that and to make people buy into it and to make people feel something through the story you're telling. Like a classic example is Stone Cold and Vince McMahon. The fact that
everybody hates their boss, and this guy, you're living vicariously through him.
Mm-hmm. And it's that story that you're invested in, like, oh, I want to see Stone Cold destroy this guy. And that makes it so much more gut-wrenching when Stone Cold joins the dark side and sides with Vince McMahon. It's like it turns against everything he's ever done beforehand.
Yeah.
And so now you don't know how to feel. But because you buy into his character so much, Stone Cold's probably the first ever true pipe bomb moment, right? Because he's the guy. It was Stone Cold 316, that speech after the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
That was the iconic, like, I'm taking the mic and I'm just going to say whatever moment.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude.
I was at WrestleMania 13 for the Bret versus Stone Cold match.
Uh-huh.
I remember because I was pretty young. I think I was like 10. But even being that young, I could feel I'm watching history right now.
Right.
During that match, because that was the double turn where, Bret Hart, who, by the way, my favorite wrestler, I think, of all time is Bret Hart. But at that moment, after Stone Cold came out and the match was going, by the end of the match, I was a Stone Cold fan against my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
And it felt like even being that young, I was just like, wow, I think I'm really watching something historic right now.
How did they do the double turn? How did they execute it? What was the...
It was Bret started doing heels. Like, he came out as a baby. Came out as a baby face. But then he started doing heel shit during the match. And what really, I think, put Stone Cold in the eyes of, like, a face was he never tapped out. Like, he passed out telling Ken Shamrock, don't end the match. But then he passed out from blood loss. So I think that's where the huge... And then I think Bret might have attacked him a little bit after the show, or after the match.
I see.
So Bret started displaying more heel tendencies.
Huh.
It's a crazy match. It was so cool to be there to watch that.
I remember last year when, again, they came to Chicago, and it was that thing where The Rock whipped Cody Rhodes and, like, called him a bitch. I was so upset I wasn't there for that because I feel like I felt like I would have felt like that. Like, oh my God, this is like history. Because that was them, again, like leaning into that mature, like, we're whipping this guy.
Yeah.
You can't fake whipping somebody.
No.
He's getting whipped. And he's like spitting on him.
Yeah.
Dude, that's all real. And it's the fucking Rock. It's one of the most famous people in the world. So that moment, I remember seeing that and just thinking, like, damn, oh my God, I could have been there.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone once told me they were there for the Undertaker streak ending. I can't remember who told me. I wish I could remember exactly who it was, but someone told me they were there for it. And they told me, like, what it felt like. Like, it was like...
You probably felt like you were seeing a mistake.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, did they miscount? Like,
yeah.
And then no one knew what was happening until the number changed on the scoreboard, and it said 21-1.
Yeah,
when
that one guy's face. Remember?
Yep, I do remember that.
That guy rules.
Him and then that Miz girl, if you remember her. Like,
yeah,
when the Miz won the title
girl,
and she was angry. It was the day after WrestleMania is when that happened. I remember that. Yeah. That might have been, no, because that was a different WrestleMania. Dude, the fact that it was The Miz versus John Cena for WrestleMania that year is
I think it was
crazy.
WrestleMania 30.
That was my first WrestleMania.
Was it really?
Whoa, written in the stars, a million miles away. Yeah, I remember the
one of the
song.
Flo Rida songs, one of the million Flo Rida songs I've had for WrestleMania. They
Dude.
can't get enough of that guy.
I feel like the best WWE Raw theme was when it was like the Attitude Era one, like. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Can't remember how it went. Like,
I know what you're talking about. Was it Rob Zombie?
I think so. Yeah.
It might have been.
But they did like a throwback one for like the Raw anniversary where they did like the Raw is War thing and they had
I like the Raw
aesthetic.
is War theme. That was cool. I think that was at least a few guys from Anthrax were on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know Scott Ian probably. I think it was Scott Ian and forgot who else was involved in that, but there was like, it was almost like a super group of metal musicians.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I vaguely remember.
Thorn in Your Eye, I think is the name of the song.
Okay. But I don't know if it was that song or the one I just sang. But I remember they did a throwback episode where it's like Raw is War, and they did that aesthetic. They made it look like the old stage, and then they even cut together an intro of the modern superstars with, or whatever the fuck they call them now, wrestlers, superstars, with those guys with the old theme. And it was so cool to see because it was like that same...
But they still had the same graphics and stuff that...
I think they did like the old aesthetic. They did like the old... They made it look... It was the same exact people from now, but it was edited like they used to edit it. So it was in the style of that intro. It was really cool. You can still find it's on their... Because you can find... the edit on their YouTube page. They uploaded it, like the thing that was displayed on the screen. I wish they would do more of that because like it just makes you instantly, it's nostalgic. Like just seeing that. And also it's the opposite kind of what they do now. Like when they changed the SmackDown theme to this like hip hop song, it rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it. I think it's still the theme. I don't know because when I'm working on Fridays, so I'm at a restaurant, so I'll turn it on the TV and I watch it, but I don't hear the intro. Yeah. So I don't know if that's the theme, but it was some like female rapper, and it's just one of those songs like, hey, I'm here at a party. I'm here to like have a, it's like fucking, oh, dude, I like the rock. Like I like when it's like punk kind of like that's a cool way to do the theme. Like don't do like modern hip hop. That ain't it. Like, don't put Travis Scott on SmackDown. Stop doing that.
Or to headline your festival.
Unless you want some bodies. Yeah. Some chalk outlines out there. Travis Scott, dude. Travis Scott, WWE, a match made in heaven. I really want to get in on that, though. I want to get in on that, like, rapper thing. I need to figure it out. I need to figure out how to get my way into WWE. I think, like, you see Chris Van Vliet, you know who that is?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe I just need to take that route. Just like get a couple wrestlers on an interview and bam, that's my in. Like, hey, by the way, Santino Marella, if you have any old phone numbers I should contact, just let me know.
Or like, have you watched, this might have been before your time. Do you know who Maven is?
He's big on YouTube now. Yeah.
Did you ever watch like his original run? Oh, dude, yeah. Tough Enough? I might watch that later. Like, I usually go once a year. I'll watch all the Tough Enoughs.
Yeah.
But he was the winner, and I remember his original
For the first
run.
Season?
Yeah.
Okay.
And his YouTube channel's awesome.
That's what I see.
It's super informative.
I haven't watched too much of it because I thought maybe it was one of those things where it's kind of just like he's hinging it upon this past success, but it's not that. It's like it's interesting.
It's
like it?
Very, very interesting.
Because I just never really gave it a chance.
Because he tells like, how much money he made. And he'll tell you like how much he made for like getting action figures and stuff. Like the action figures, how many of his sold. Like he goes real in depth with shit that most people wouldn't want to talk about.
Okay.
So, or backstage politics, like he tells you like who's been an asshole to him.
Because he's not trying to like.
Because he doesn't want a job back there.
Yeah.
Or like he doesn't need one. But it's really interesting. Him and Stevie Richards.
Okay.
Have good channels.
Oh, Stevie Richards, I don't know.
From ECW.
Okay.
He was in Right to Censor. That might have been before your time.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But yeah, he was a big guy in ECW.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, and again, Cornette. Cornette's another one who is not YouTube, but his podcast is probably like one of the biggest.
Cornette's Drive-Thru? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
That was the one I listened to.
I think so.
Yeah.
When CM Punk returned to WWE, he like called it out in a promo. He said something about like listening to Jim Cornette.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned him co-signing Jim Cornette because he did like after he returned. CM Punk, that's like again what he does so well is he blurs the lines to the point where even if you're a casual fan, you'll catch something that he said. It's kind of like a good rap song. Like it's wordplay is what it is. He'll put little things. What is that thing he said about the Young Bucks? There was something when he was talking shit about the Young Bucks.
One Bill Phil.
Counterfeit something.
In a business full of counterfeit bucks.
Yeah. Where he's talking shit. He's addressing the reality that all the fans know, but at the same and
he's not directly saying anything.
Exactly. And so even if you don't know what he's saying, you kind of get it.
It's either you get it or you're, what the fuck is he talking about?
But you still kind of get the gist of it. Like, oh, he's talking.
You know,
the
shot
Bucks,
being
you at least
taken.
know he's talking shit about the Bucks.
Yeah.
You don't fully understand all the lore behind it. Just like when he came back with Seth Rollins, you don't have to know that Seth Rollins was tweeting about him and all of this.
Yeah.
You just get these guys hate each other.
Yeah.
And they're playing into that. And then you look into it and you realize there's more and more to it. With the John Cena thing. John Cena's doing it now. I think when he came out and he said that stuff about Cody Rhodes just recently, he basically laid out all the complaints that people have with Cody Rhodes' character. He's boring. He's kind of just like it's stilted. It's all rehearsed. And like I don't think anybody's came for Cody Rhodes' throat quite like that. It was like when John Cena came at Roman Reigns years and years ago, when Roman Reigns was going to be the next John Cena, and then Roman Reigns.
It's called the promo, Roman. Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
But that's real. That's a real reality you're seeing right there. He's actually talking shit. But the fans understand it. Like it's a very fine line. It's actually amazing that they do it as well as they do it. Like it's masterful.
Yeah.
CM Punk and John Cena on the mic. There's a few others that do it quite. Bray Wyatt again. Like where you're like everything you're saying. I believe everything you're saying, but also like it all makes sense. It all lines up.
Yeah.
I can't even say that you're lying about it. Like that's part of the fun. They're kind of like lawyers. They're kind of like justifying all the shit their character has done.
Well, even somebody tried to say on Bray's, it was one of the few like tweets that he actually responded to. They're like, "What happened to Husky Harris?"
Oh, okay.
And his response was, "He needed help. I needed a vessel."
I remember
it's
that
an answer, but it's such a cryptic answer. It's like, okay, is he possessed? You know what I mean? Like, what happened here? But it's such a great answer for that character.
Right.
Because it doesn't deny that Husky Harris ever existed, but it does acknowledge that who was Husky Harris is who now is Bray Wyatt.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was such a smart response.
Yeah. Dude. Yes.
You coming back? All right.
Yeah, she's over us.
Yeah. She's had enough. Enough about fucking wrestling.
Before we wrap this up, after our hour of wrestling talk, I should ask you at least like about the show that you run.
Yeah.
What's that? How does that work? Like all of that. I mean, tell the people, tell me. You know, it's a good spot to mention it. I don't even know what it's called.
Oh, it's called Laugh It Off.
Okay.
It is at the Other Side Sober Bar in Crystal Lake. I run it with my good friend, great comic, Monica Andrade. And we do it once a month. It's the last Saturday of every month. We've been doing it 2 years now. We're coming up on 2 years.
Okay.
It is a sober bar, which is something a lot of people don't know exists.
Yeah.
But it's...
Seems like, what do you call that when the two words contradict each other?
Paradox?
Yeah, well, paradox is one word. Not an anomaly.
We've used that word. That should be the name of this episode.
Yeah.
I feel like we said anomaly a lot.
Anomalous. The anomalous episode. When anomalies collide. That's a good name.
That's a good pay-per-view.
I think that's it right there. But no, it's I can't remember. But there's a word when like two words contradict each other, and it just seems like it doesn't even make sense. That's exactly like a sober bar seems to cancel itself out.
Yes, and I know it's going to bother me the rest of the day.
Yeah,
because I know the word you're talking about, and I can't think of it.
I know. It's not even that hard to remember. Once we remember it, we'll be like, oh, of course, we're just idiots. That'll be it.
It's going to be. We're going to get it.
I'm not going to look it up. We'll remember it by the end of this episode. Maybe.
But yeah, we run that once a month. It's the last Saturday of the month. Been doing great. It's been doing great lately. Like we had a packed out room last show.
Why do you think that is?
We work hard on it, I guess.
Yeah.
Monica is from that area, so Monica can go around and put flyers up and stuff at local businesses. I think promotion is just really what's helped us out. Making sure doing targeted Facebook ads and stuff. The venue, the Other Side, is super supportive of our show. So they'll have ads up too. And yeah, it's always a good time. It's cool because you can't go there when you're fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, if they think you're under the influence, like, you'll probably get kicked out, which we've not had a problem with.
Okay.
But it's interesting because we don't have hecklers a lot because they're not drunk. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if someone's at our show and they're being an asshole, it's like, oh, you're just an asshole. You can't blame this on alcohol. You're just being a dick.
You get those guys sometimes, though.
No, I can't think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever really had a problem with it.
That's interesting. Maybe there's a connection to be made here.
Yeah, right?
Maybe alcohol is the source of heckling.
Who would have thought?
Right? No way.
But yeah, we've had great crowds come out. All
That's
of our
awesome.
comics, hopefully, I think, have had a good time.
Is it just a showcase? What's the idea?
Yeah, it's a showcase. So I think we usually have 5 or 6 comics. The
Like 15 minutes each, 8 minutes each? How long?
Usually 10 for each, but we do have the headliner doing 20 and 25.
Cool.
Sometimes a little bit longer. I like that because...
Dave Chappelle shows up. I'm doing 5 hours. That seems to be what he does.
Yeah, right? All right, we'll have you go in the middle. But yeah, we like to give a longer set because I don't think a ton of people get that opportunity. Because a lot of times it's like the showcase style is like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to stretch out and
I've noticed
do a little bit longer.
sometimes they'll do things where it's like 2 comedians each getting 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see that. But yeah, you're right. Almost always. It's like 6 people on one show. Everybody's got like a tight 10, 15 minutes.
Yes, and then throw
15
in
at
guest
most.
spots. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the feature spot does 15, and then we have the headliner doing 20 to 25 or however long they want to do. Just to make sure they can stretch their legs. And
Okay. How do you book it? Like, how do you decide who to put on the shows? Over time, has that changed, like, your booking process?
kind of, we go pretty much strictly off submissions now. Like, our submissions are closed, so sorry.
Wah, wah, wah.
But we do post when we open them back up.
So what, just too many? Like, you had too many submissions? You have to
It's
like,
a
sift
good
through
way.
them?
Well, we want people who want to do the show. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So if someone's not willing to submit...
No, but I mean, why did you close them?
Oh, why did we close them? Yeah, I mean, we just figured, okay, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
Some people were submitting multiple times.
Oh, I see.
So why don't we close them? We only do the show monthly, so we can't have everybody. You know what I mean? So
With anything, you have to eventually, like if it scales upwards,
Yeah.
eventually it's just going to be impossible to have everybody.
Exactly.
Even if you wanted to, it's impossible.
exactly.
And you could do a show every week and you can't have everybody.
yeah. There's only 52 weeks a year.
Yep.
And you got to count holidays, shit like that.
Yep.
People coming in from out of town.
I've learned, like, because you reached out to me through Instagram to do this.
Yeah.
If things keep going the direction they're going, I will have to make a submission page and do that,
Yeah.
go that route where it's like, I'm going to have
and
to
it keeps
filter
it
this.
organized because, like, my DM could have gotten buried by 50 million others, but if you have a Google sheet that people submit on, that's your list right there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
and-
like you said, it shows who really wants to do it.
Exactly. If someone's
Yeah.
willing to take the time to submit their clip, and Monica goes through pretty much every clip like that
Yeah.
comes through. Monica will watch them.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I don't as much, but because I know a lot of, like, they're out in Crystal Lake, but I'm out at Mike's doing shows, whatever.
Crystal Lake, shout out Jason Voorhees again.
Yeah, that's. I always forget that somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone usually will make a joke. I came here to see Jason.
This is an easy one. It's like how Flint, if I mention Flint, they say water. It immediately, I'm actually
And I
impressed
went
with-
right to King 810.
You didn't say water. I'm actually really impressed. You're one of the few.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Crystal Lake, you're booking from out of there a lot of the time. Like, is that what you're saying? Or like, what were you saying exactly when I derailed you?
I don't remember.
Crystal Lake. You mentioned Crystal Lake.
Oh,
booking,
yeah, then we talked
watching
about
the
Jason.
videos because a lot of the people you're familiar with.
Yeah, like, because we do get a lot of submissions from Chicago. We also try to carpool so that, not everyone's wasting their money on gas.
Okay.
And, they can keep all the money they make from the show.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll try to do that. But yeah, we'll go through the submissions, and it's about, like, the lineup. We like to have a diverse lineup and stuff. I think everybody does, or everybody should. So it's just mixing and matching. Like, okay, I think this lineup would look good if this person was on it. Or this person. Hey, this person could use a longer set, so why don't we have them headline? Things like that. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just like anything. You're trying to put together a show. Like, you're trying to curate an event. And in order to do that, it's you have to kind of like, okay, this needs 20, 25 minutes. Like, maybe we should get another female comic on here. Even just if, like, for a female audience, like, just to show that you are willing to put on a female comedian. Maybe just throw. I've noticed that's very common, actually. Like,
what?
To the point where female comedians, I think Abigail Blaze, like she mentioned to me, like, since she's a girl, she gets that, like, that perk. Because that's the thing. It's like you're the female comic, so you will get booked based on that. Like, it's kind of like, we need a female comic. Let's get so-and-so. Because it is kind of a male-dominated. Like, if you were to tally the numbers, it probably is mostly guys in the comedy world. It's probably like 75% guys, 25% girls. That'd be my guess if I had to just guess.
But I
not
mean,
that the women are worse, not
it,
that anything. It's just that's what I observe, you know.
No, you're right. I mean, it is a more male-dominated thing, but the way I look at it, just like from the show Monica and I produce, like, we don't give a fuck what you are. If you're not funny, you're not on the fucking show.
So when you say diverse, though, is that what you mean, though? Just like people of different
something
persuasions?
for everybody. Yeah, not even that. Different perspectives.
Ah, okay.
You know
so
what I
like
mean?
different styles of comedy.
Different styles. Yeah, different styles. Something for everybody, because there's
cool.
so many different unique voices that people have. Like, it's nice to be able to not have someone who almost has the exact same point of view as the last comic you just saw.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's definitely the way to do it. I guess the thing would be at that point, like, getting the right playlist per se.
Sure.
Like, the right blend of comedians. Like, how would so-and-so follow so-and-so? Because if you had, like, somebody who had, like, a real dirty set or something, like, going
followed by,
the
like, a
way.
ventriloquist. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be like Whiplash.
Yeah.
Throw Jim Gaffigan after them or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, everything's just kind of, like, different all of a sudden.
I kind of like that, though.
Me too. There's part of me that likes it. There's part of me that, like, I don't know if you can get away with it. It's figuring out how to get away with it.
The right person can get away with it, I think.
I think so.
There's a way to, but that goes back to, like, as long as you're funny, we don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
I saw
we're not looking, oh no, we need to have this many women on the show.
Yeah.
It's like, if we do, like, we try to, just to give everyone an opportunity.
But that's not the goal.
But yeah, we want to put on a good show. And there are plenty of funny women where we don't feel like we have to put a woman on the show just to have a woman on the show.
Yes,
like, there's enough funny women that we want them on the show.
Yeah.
It's not just to make the show look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you say diverse, the first place my brain goes is like, because you'll see shows booked that way, where it's like, obviously, okay, you had to have a girl, you had to have someone of color, you had to have someone, like, I can see it at work just through the way that people will book. Like, if you look at every show they do, it's like, oh, okay, I can see that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think you have to do that either. I think that's actually the backwards way to think about it. You should just be who's funny.
Exactly.
It should just be, I see raw talent and I want to put that together and give people a good time. None of that other stuff should even be considered, really.
Yeah.
It's good if you do that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But that shouldn't be the first priority, right? Like, that's the problem, is when it becomes the first thing you think about. Oh, I just put together this lineup, but there's not a girl here.
Yeah.
Shit. And I'm going to have to cut this guy out and send him a DM. Like, you know. It's
Promise you're not going to be mad.
But I'm sure that happens a lot.
But I think if you're thinking about it the right way,
it'll happen
thought
naturally.
Process, isn't even there of, oh, we need a girl on this lineup.
Yep.
Or we need,
Because there are plenty of funny female comics.
Yeah, there's
plenty of them.
A million.
Just like there's plenty of unfunny ones, just like there's plenty of unfunny male comics.
Exactly.
Like, there's just talent to be found in any group of people if you know what you're looking for.
Exactly. And lack of talent. Like,
yes. And lack of talent.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's, but different perspectives and different styles, like alt comedy versus, I don't even know what I would call me. I don't know. I'll leave that up to someone else to label me.
Let us know in the comments what you think this man is.
Yeah, and if you say shit, you're not booked on my show.
Just bad comedy.
But, like, having different perspectives, and I like the opposites of this person's clean and then this person's dirty, because we don't tell anyone what to do. The only thing we tell you what to do on our show is we do not want you to show up fucked up at a sober bar. You should know that already, but, just to be sure people know that. And just no material that glamorizes drug or alcohol problems.
Because you can't do it in that environment. Like, they won't let you. They don't want you to, right?
It's more that you just shouldn't, out of respect for the people that are there. These are a lot of people in recovery. And
that's why it exists.
honestly, people in recovery are some of the toughest fucking people you're going to meet. So nothing, I don't think anything would break them, but it's just rude to do that, to talk to an addict and say, oh, I'm still doing this thing you had to give up. So we don't want any of that bullshit.
I see.
And it's, just out of respect for our audience and the venue that we ask that there's no material that glamorizes drug or alcohol use. But you can talk about it.
I wonder. Like, if you had a bit about, like, I get the munchies on the weekends, and then I get really high, I get the munchies, and then all this chaos ensues. I wonder, would that count as glamorizing? Or
no, you just said chaos ensues.
Okay.
We'll put it this way. If you said, I smoked so much pot this weekend, I got the munchies, it was the best weekend ever.
Don't say that.
You should know better in the environment you're in not to say that.
Yeah.
But sometimes
that's when you get heckled at the sober bar.
Yeah, well, that's also when you're not asked to do the show again.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we don't, you can swear whatever you want. People who are in recovery, those people have seen some shit.
Right.
Yeah, so
it's kind of like how you hear, veterans, people like that tend to have, dark humor.
Yeah.
Because they've been through, the depths of their human soul.
They've seen it all. They've been literally... It's called rock bottom for a reason.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about the audience we have at Laugh It Off is that they're so grateful to be able to laugh because they have been to rock bottom, a lot of them. And it's not just a closed, if you're not sober, you can't go. It's open to everybody as long as you don't show up fucked up.
Okay.
It's open to everybody, but there is a big community of sober people that go to the show. And they're just grateful to be there laughing. Because a lot of them have seen.
What's the capacity of the room? How big is the room?
That's a good question.
Is it a 30, would you guess, 50-person room? Or is it smaller?
A little bit more.
Oh, more,
I think,
okay.
yeah. Maybe
that's not bad.
60 to 80. I could
That's
probably
not
look
bad
it
at
up.
all. And you're filling this room up, you're saying?
Yeah, we've been doing very, very well with it lately.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and it's taken work. That's... If you're producing a show, don't give up on it.
Hold on. I'm going to let her out of the room. She's been silently begging for the last,
Is that what's going on? Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. I'm looking up the capacity of the other side.
That's bigger than I thought, though. Because I was thinking, maybe, red room size, maybe just a good,
Maybe a little bit bigger than that. And we set the room up different than they normally have it. It's this is how it looks.
Oh, okay. I can see how you could fit about, 50 people in there.
Well, there's the seating by the bar and then along that way, too.
Okay.
So... Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I just point it like that. So a comfortable, relaxed, and friendly atmosphere supporting a healthier lifestyle for the entire community. The other side, 0.0% alcohol, it says on the wall.
But we changed the room around. So where that TV is, we face all of the seating that way so you feel like you're in a comedy club.
Ah, and that would open the room up.
Yeah,
you got all these sofas and stuff in the middle, the table.
The comfortable chairs are all in the front to encourage people to sit up front. You know what I mean? So we put them at the couches and the most comfortable ones in the front.
Yeah.
But we've set up the room so it feels like you're at a comedy club.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying is if you run a show and it doesn't seem like it's going well, don't give up on it. The more shows we all have, the better comedy is going to do.
Do you think it wasn't as good as it, how was it at first? Was it rough starting the show?
Well, it was only because we used to set up along this side.
Okay.
Where the 0% thing is.
Yeah.
And the bathroom is right there.
Oh, okay.
To the left of the bar.
And it's kind of like a tight hallway thing at that point.
Exactly. And we didn't mess with the seating too much.
Oh, okay.
The show was fine, but it was uncomfortable because you kind of had to move your head to see everything. So we were thinking of the best way. How do we make this more comfortable? How do we make this feel like a comedy club?
Yeah.
And so me and Monica just had a meeting about it and decided that wall was the best. We could put our logo up here on the TV.
Oh.
and make it into a comedy club, basically.
Ah, that's cool.
So yeah, this is the little things like that can make a show a million times better.
And there's always room for improvement, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Just because it seems like it's not working now doesn't mean there's not like a little change you could make. Like,
exactly.
You just don't see it yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if you're not drawing an audience, think about why.
Right. Yeah, well, that's like a classic
Are they
comedy
promoting
rules. Don't blame the audience.
Yeah.
Like, you just apply that principle to the show itself.
Exactly.
Like, don't blame them. Think, how could I possibly make this more attractive? Like, how could I change this?
What is a show I would want to go to as a fan?
That's the best question you could ask yourself, too, is that. Like, if I were here, what would I be looking around at? Like, if this was a foreign environment to me and I just walked in, what are the things I would see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would make me feel like I'm at a comedy show?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's with bar shows. I think that's the goal, is to pretty much turn that room into a comedy club.
Which is easier said than done. Like, that's a difficult task a lot of the time.
Because I think a lot of times bars love the idea of having comedy, but then making adjustments to make it a good show they don't want to do.
Right.
Like a lot of bars, well, we can't turn the TVs off. People come here to watch the TVs.
Right.
Or we can't have people not play pool, or you know what I mean? Like, we can't have... I'm trying to think of other shit. We can't mess around with the tables because families eat here. Why do you want a comedy show where there's a family eating their dinner? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, picking your venue, I think, is important, too.
Yeah.
Like, if something... Just because they say we should have comedy here doesn't mean that we, as comics, should put ourselves in that position to have a shit show.
Yeah, and I think, like, it becomes like a tough thing, I bet, a lot of the time, because you get into it's like the fallacy of sunk cost. Like, I remember learning about that economically and never forgetting it, because I think that's like any bad relationship you ever have can be explained with this. Like, the fallacy of sunk cost is like, I've invested so much into this that if I were to pull out now, then that would be bad, because like I've already put so much down. I've already put so much down on this.
Yeah.
That if I wasted all this time, wasted everything if I back out now. And I think people get into those relationships with any toxic relationship you have is that. So like, say you're with this venue and you've been with them for 8 months, but it's going real bad.
Yeah.
But that's how you run your open mic. It's right there at this venue, but they don't let you do all these things you just mentioned.
Yeah.
They put up all these roadblocks. Your best course of action, obviously, is to find a new venue.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, but I've been working here for so long. Everybody knows it as this thing. They're going to be confused if we relocate. What if some people can't? Like, you'll create reasons in your mind
to stay.
Yeah, you'll put up your own roadblocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot of that. I mean, I think that's why people get stuck at bad spots like that, is for that very reason. And comedy in particular is a weird one, because you do need a certain environment. You can't have just anything.
No, it can't.
Sound
like with live music is a little bit different.
The utmost importance, I feel like, with comedy. I need to, if I can't understand what the comedian is saying, like if the sound isn't good, then you are like that. There's something about comedy where, for one, you want silence, but for another thing, you want to be able to create something out of that silence. And so if the basic communication aspect is lost, you really are kind of just not able to succeed at all.
What you want is a place people can focus.
Exactly.
Lighting is huge.
Yeah, and like what you just said too, music you can get away with more. Music is more about like the vibe, and you can kind of have like a rough sound with music.
The musicians on stage aren't going to be, if you're talking while they're playing, they're not going to be like, hey, can you keep it down over there?
Respect the mic.
Yeah, exactly. With comics, we need moments of silence. We need focus.
Exactly. To the point where like one
Which we do have to earn that
can ruin
too,
the
though.
whole show.
Yeah.
But you do have to earn it.
Yeah,
you have to
earn
create
people's
an
attention.
environment conducive to it.
That's that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, like I imagine like I've heard Joe Rogan talk about when he was designing his comedy club, and I think it was Dave Chappelle. He was saying that Dave Chappelle gave him a bunch of advice on how to like do it that was really helpful. And it's just interesting even hearing about that, because there is like certain things that make a comedy club better. Like, I guess a low roof was one of them.
Yep.
Like, you want a low roof.
Low ceiling, yeah.
The tighter the room, kind of the better, because you kind of want all the laughs to go one direction.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's little things that increase that focus, that if you were designing the room perfect for it, you'd have to do those things. I think Red Room does it pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's actually kind of a perfect size for an intimate club. If
for
you
sure.
just want something nice and tight, everything's facing one way, like I think they do a lot of that right. Where
I feel like their sound has gotten better too. Like,
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like the music from the other side, like the bar, doesn't bleed through. Like at least last time I was there, it felt like
I think you're right.
They're doing a really good job of containing like the separation between the bar and the comedy room,
which is another. Yeah, that's probably something.
I might have just been in my head, but
yeah, you would want to soundproof it a little bit, though.
For sure,
you need to do that.
Yeah, to keep the outside
right
noise
next to a bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You open the doors like, Jesus.
But that's what like other side doesn't. They have like they'll have meetings and stuff, like AA meetings, things like that, but not during our show. Like Saturday night is our night. That would be tremendously awkward.
Just start roasting them.
Again, addicts can fucking take it, and they can dish that shit out too.
Yeah, that's true.
But they've been such a good audience that we've gotten. Yeah, we have so much fun doing that show.
They probably appreciate it. Like the people that go there probably appreciate it. Just the live entertainment of it. Because it's
something to do.
And it comes to them.
Yeah,
it's where they would hang out anyways.
Yeah, and Monica is awesome to produce with. Like one of my best friends in the world, but we also worked so well together.
Well, like you said, she watches all the videos.
Yeah, we watch all the watches all the videos, but also just we have such a good communication. Yeah. That we are usually 99.9% always on the same page. And we just communicate well, even when there is like disagreements about where the show should go, what should we be doing with it. We have very honest communication.
Yeah.
Like it's never like, oh, that's a bad idea, so we're not doing it. We have discussions about everything. And it's just us two doing it, which is really, I think, when there's too many producers.
It's like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when it's just because it's just me and Monica, we're the ones making decisions. And with the venue, of course.
Two probably is the magic number. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would you say about the venue?
Well, they're a part of it too. Like we do have to run our shit past them.
But they're usually cool with pretty much everything as well.
Yeah, they've been on board. They've been so supportive.
That's all. Yeah, that's really all you need is like, because I think it's like one bad apple. You know, it's that thing where you have group IQ. I was reading that like group IQ, you could have 5 people who are incredible and 1 person that's bad, and it's those.
It's a poison idea.
Yeah, they'll ruin everything. You would think the 5 people could elevate the 1, but what really happens is the 1 drags the 5 people down. That's what happens every time.
Yeah, bad apple spoils the bunch.
It's
Did
real.
I say that right?
It's real.
Yeah.
The bad apple really does spoil the bunch. And so like you have to be very careful.
I feel like that's wrong.
I think you're right. I think you
I don't know
got
if it's a bunch of apples though. The bushel? Is that it?
Apple spoils the bushel.
What we're trying to say is,
well, you know, like it's like mold. Mold will spread.
Yeah.
If you have mold,
how many different ways we spin that?
Yeah. It's like basically
anybody listening to this is just like, we get it. One bad apple. Okay, mold. Move the fuck.
One time I saw this picture. Okay, it's like if you had a glass of water and you drip just one little drop of oil. You will not drink that glass of water anymore because one drop of oil was dripped in. Just like that.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
I'm trying to think of others now.
It's like if you were swimming through a haystack and there was one needle.
Yeah, one needle ruins the whole stack.
Yes.
That's the old saying.
That's what you meant to say.
Yeah, that's where this has been going the entire time.
One needle ruins
is that
the whole stack.
At the other side during Laugh It Off, we do not allow hay.
Yeah. Which makes the horses go crazy. All the horses at the show are very upset about this. All the recovering horses.
Yeah. I mean, horses party.
Horses do party, I bet. Imagine a horse on steroids. That'd be wild.
I assume they all are.
Oh, I don't know. I think some of them are. You probably would gas up your horse if you were a horse racer.
I would think you'd want to.
You probably, yeah. That's probably frowned upon. Like his horse's muscles are abnormally large.
Yeah.
This can't be right.
You don't want to get kicked by a horse. Or at least I don't.
Imagine riding a hulked up horse. That'd be scary.
With a tribal tattoo around it.
Just turns into bull riding at that point. Dude. I like that. I like that idea. Because I've never ever thought about like steroids and horses, but I actually think that's been done many times. Now that I think about it, That's probably been done many times. Maybe even in the dog fighting community, they're gassing up the dogs a little bit. Maybe. Just throwing that out there.
Could be. I mean, I stay out of those rings.
Being from Flint, Michigan, I heard about these. I remember when I gave my kitty cats away, I had my cat kittens, and you have to look out for that if you ever give cats away for free. Like, you have to be careful. Because
they're not on roids?
The dog fighters will take them and feed them to the dogs. It'll be like the bait.
No,
the steroids are a side issue.
The seedy world.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Flint dogfighting.
Dogfighting in general. Right before we started recording, we were talking about the animal cruelty.
Yeah.
Like how you got your cat through and someone did something terrible to your cat. They threw boiling water on it.
Yep.
It's tragic. And like, it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing to me. It boggles my mind.
I hope that person's dead.
Well, dogfighting, though.
Yeah.
Who the fuck would do that? It's crazy. And it's like a community.
Yeah, there's a lot of money that goes into that.
And it's always poor communities. Like, it's weird how it works. Like, why in the world is that a thing? Like, why? Like, pit bulls are a big thing in poor communities, but like, so that was what I had to look out for, is like people with pit bulls as their profile pictures when I was giving the kitty cat away. Because there was one person who messaged me, they had multiple pit bulls as their profile pictures, and it just seemed so suspicious. And so I was asking them questions, and they couldn't really. They were answering the questions weird, and it was just, dude, like, it's scary. You can't just give a cat away, I guess. No. That's what I learned. You can't just do that. Yeah. I had multiple people warn me because I posted on Facebook like, hey, I have 5 kittens. Like, this is what I'm gonna do, and then people would like say afterwards, like, no, go to this page and do this. Like,
make sure it's going to the right people. Yeah.
Yes, I did. But like, they're out there. They're out there. I wonder how many of them there are. That's what I wonder. Like, how many people are in the dog fighting world? Probably more than you'd think.
Probably way more. I mean, nobody ever thought a professional football player would be involved in it. You know what I mean?
Right. That's a great point.
It's not just poor communities.
It's not just poor people.
Yeah. Or it's weird.
Michael Vick.
Yeah, because there's a lot of money in it.
That's fucking crazy. You're right, dude. Oh, it's probably like a Diddy of the dogfighting world.
Yeah,
we just don't know about.
Yeah, there's a whole world of it that
it'll just unravel out of nowhere. That'll be the next big story. Like, fucking Snoop Dogg is dogfighting. No!
Snoop Dogg fighting.
The signs were there this whole time.
The headline writes itself. Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, you can come on the podcast. You can talk about how you're not a dog fighter. You can explain yourself. I'll put that out there.
Because we've got some questions.
Start throwing accusations at him.
You know what? He's never said he didn't do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So how about Snoop Lion? How do you feel about lions, huh? Have you spoken with Mike Tyson recently? Well, hey, man, it was a pleasure having you on here.
Thank you. This was awesome.
At the very end, what we always like to do is, if you got a message to send the people home with, something beautiful to wrap it all up, tie it up with the bow, give them something to ponder on, this is your chance. But also, tell them who you are, your social medias, where they can find you, all that good stuff. The floor is yours, sir.
Shit. Hi. That's a good start, right?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good way to start most things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hi, how are you? That's nice.
I usually start with, here's my business card.
Oh.
No. Yeah. But he busts out a TI-82.
Yeah. Tim Brennan, stand-up comedian. Tim Brennan is where you can find me on Instagram. Don't send me reels. Laugh It Off is my show. The reason I said it that way is because it's laugh_it_off_comedy. Let me make sure that's right. Monica runs the Instagram.
Underscore. That would make the most sense. Underscores for each one.
Yeah, it's Laugh It Off Comedy. Let me make sure it's
laugh_it_off_comedy.
Yep. Laugh for the third time. Laugh_it_off_comedy for our Instagram. You see all our upcoming shows there. And then, what was the last thing?
You got a message for the kids at home, anything to send them home with, you know. All these kids who've been listening, they've been hearing all of our wisdom. They know you're a wise man. They figured that out. They realize you're a person with lots of knowledge, so now you get to send them home with some of your wise wisdom, one of your little nuggets of beautiful advice. It's your chance.
No.
And with that being said, folks, Ruse Radio clocking out. Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collect. It's apparent his caricature is lost in the mess. It's hysterical, the picture that they put to his face. It's a confidence administered to earn their respect. Live a little light, a candle.